Welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and today we are back again for another One Piece store tournament in this OP16 / the starter deck meta. Right before we get into this weekend, which I think all of you are definitely in agreement or should be super excited for, we have the release of OP17. And for those out there and seeing the social medias, we've got kind of like ideas of what you can expect for the hit ratios and the case hits and what's going to happen within your ratios and what the chances and odds of you hitting some of those super powerful cards and the alt arts and those SPs and those hockey SPs and the Diamond Dawn, as they're calling it. That's just like the Blue Dawn is what I saw the Japanese calling, but they're calling it the Diamond Dawn for the Rocksteady Zebek Pirates Dawn and all the rest of the Gold Dawn. Of course, there's so many different reveals, so many people super excited for this anniversary set, as it has been jam-packed with crazy good hits. You've got God packs out here. We've got the possibility of getting this new manga leader art. You have the possibility of getting this silver or the what is it, the gold, like what are you calling the gold Rocksteady Zebek one? You got the silver Monkey Luffy and you got the Rocksteady Zebek one, and they got these two like basically made from real silver or real gold or whatever. These things that can, by the way, be weighted, so be careful about loose packs out there. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of our friends over at the Targets with a little scale measuring each one of the packs, trying to make sure that they can try to increase their chances of getting those specialized cards that are like ridiculously difficult to pull. So, from what I've seen from the internet, it's something like 1 in 10 plus cases, and that they're estimating because they still haven't pulled one after opening up 10 cases. They're just thinking that basically the old ratio for the last one was around there, and sometimes, I mean, obviously 1 in 10 doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get it in 10 cases because they are kind of random in the way that they seat these things, but it is looking like there is a way to kind of map these boxes, which is kind of a little bit of a downside that I've seen, because they're able to get some of these numbers almost exactly right when it comes to the amount of SP hockeys. The Baki the Baki Kaido was rumored to have like 1 per case. That has been debunked. It is not 1 per case. It's like 1 per 4 cases. I think the individuals end up getting 2 cases or 3 cases, end up getting 3 Bakis back to back to back. So that was actually kind of like a misnomer on their part. They just gotten a weird stacked set of cases that end up having those Bakis. So anyone looking for those Baki Kaidos are unfortunately going to be a little bit left out, because there's going to be a lot of cases in between. The individuals that open up 10 cases, they were, and this is just from stuff I'm gathering hearsay from social media and X, and the individuals that have been opening up like the Rip and Shippers that I saw and whatnot, that confirmed that there is a God pack, and the guy ended up pulling one of the manga leaders from the pack. And those curious of what's in the God pack, for what we've seen, it's an assortment of different alt arts. It doesn't look like they gave them special treatment above their normal alt art treatment, not like the last God pack where if you got the 5 elders, you had the specialized 5 elders you could only get in the God pack. And then of course it gives you 1 of every single leader, excluding the manga leader. So you're going to get 1 of all 6 different leader types that have been released from the set. Alt art, of course, which is awesome, fantastic, and then some alt arts to go on top of it. I would have liked to have seen maybe like an SP kind of like locked in that God pack or anything, but you know what, honestly, we got God packs. Let's be happy we have God packs. Those God packs are rumored to be somewhere around 1 to 12 cases to getting one of those God packs, and of course this doesn't matter how you, I mean, these are rough odds and rough estimates, because of course we don't have the actual numbers from Bandai. What are the actual hit rates and ratios for all these cards to understand exactly how many we had to buy just to get the hits. Of course, like the 1 in 4 mangas is like 1 in 4 cases. To get 1 of the 4 mangas that you want to hit, for those cards, there's supposed to be a hockey SP per case and a regular SP. The treasure rares are like 1 in 3 cases, from what I understand. I should have wrote all this stuff down. But these numbers, again, are only coming on this initial release of individuals that possibly got it. Also, according to some of the individuals out there, we want to warn all of you, please do not buy boxes on the release that's outside of your LGSs. Go to your LGS, convince them to sell as close to MSRP as possible to keep the game alive. It is absolutely dire that they start getting these prices down if they want this game to survive. The scalpers can destroy a card game. But get out to those LCSs, because the first wave that has been issued out is going to people who are holding competitive events. So the way that Bandai did this one, all the product that's getting released in wave 1 are going specifically to stores who hold competitive events. So go to your LGS to go pick up that product. The second wave, I don't know how many weeks it's going to take, is rumored to come out into the big box stores and the other people and the other individuals. Anybody who got some of their orders, I think it was like a minimum of like 1, maybe 2 cases, and that's if you're a big buyer. I'm talking big buyers. People that usually buy pallets are only getting 1 or 2 cases if they don't hold events, and even that's going to be like kind of like extended out there. Now, the reason I'm saying don't spend too much on the beginning is because you're going to feed the market into believing that there is going to be a shortage when we are going to have multiple waves of releases based on what LGSs get first, they get second, so that'll be great for LGSs. They're going to have 2 waves of product to purchase from. So if you one like Lifelink Games that hosts these events and hosts the pre-releases and hosts the regular store tournaments and has the chance to do the pirate parties and all the rest of those events that we host, those stores will be prioritized first. They'll get the second wave, and that'll go with your targets and everything else for getting your loose packs and whatnot. Hopefully your targets do limit how much you can buy. I am actually a big fan of what Target's been doing. I'm a little saddened by the fact they can't rip the Pokemon products anymore, but in some weird way I can understand the collectors could make a case, and I don't think collectors were making the case. I think the scalpers are making the case for collectors' behalf that they want to be able to sit on a sealed product and be able to have it just sit there sealed as part of their collection and not trying to just scalp it immediately way. But most of the stores are still limiting your purchase power, especially like our Target here, where you can only get 1 pack or 1 thing per and 5 items total. So a really good policy that I think that most Targets and Walmarts and the rest of them should incorporate to make sure that they can give the product out to the most amount of people, especially those players, and give them a chance to go to the store. Because I know a lot of us work, we don't have time to chase the trucks around and try to grab the stock off from the back. You know what I mean? Like right as soon as they dump it. So it is gonna be a race out there. The prices are a little astronomically high. I put this out there for every new set. FOMO prices will confuse you. If you think you're going to get a $10,000 card or whatever the ridiculous FOMO pricing is for these pre-sales, don't buy them at that price. They're not going to stay that high, especially if you're looking for SRs. They're not going to be sitting at $25 for very long, depending on which ones they are, of course, and if we find out they're really hard to get. But most of the cards that your rares, your SRs, your base commons, uncommons, all that stuff is gonna within weeks just tank like it did for 16. Most of your SRs for 16 are ridiculously cheap. Good time to pick those up right now, by the way. If you're out there, I can't tell you to spend your money. I'm not a financial advisor, but if you are a collector or someone who likes to play the game, this is your prime time for you to get into all those old cards. Get your play sets of 4, as most cards are like $1 or less, honestly. If your LGS has like some kind of community box like we do, or the people like to give away the packs, give away the rares, get your 4 sets, get those things. Are going to be super cheap. And that's going to be the same thing for an anniversary set for the most part, with exception. There are a few exceptions, guys. So when it comes to anniversary sets, there are certain cards that do stay at a good, decent price. Those are going to be cards you're going to see at a heavy staple. So whatever deck seems to be at the top tier doing the best, some of those SRs do stick around $20 to $30 in that range. So especially if they're able to be used in multiple decks. So once we start releasing these cards, we start seeing what the format looks like, and I'm going to go in for some of those decks right now. But once we start seeing that carryover, like we saw with Borsalino, that was basically in every yellow deck and every egghead deck. You have cards like the Zoro that's like in every red deck that because it wasn't leader locked, that gave plus 2k and had character rush with 9k power. That one sit around 15, maybe $20. Those cards that are going to come out in this anniversary set, because it is going to be an anniversary set, are going to be sticking in that pricier range for a much longer period of time than is normal. Will those cards drop eventually? Absolutely, they always do. Once they do, when they get underneath the $5 range, that's when I recommend all of you pick up as many as you can to get your 4 set anyways. You don't need to buy the market out. Let people get their 4 sets. But allow people to get the 4 sets and pick those up when they're affordable. Obviously, if you need the card, I would not recommend buying in this FOMO market. I know that there's tournaments around. I know a lot of people pulling store tournaments and treasure cups, and of course you got the flame through next month that most of us are really looking forward to getting into. Don't, if you can, buy into the market. Trade with your friends. Trade SRs for SRs. Trade rares for rares. Give cards away if you have excess. Help people get the community together like we do out here, and help people get the product that they need to build the decks that they want to build. that's what I'd recommend for all of you. This is the community we built here at Lifelink Games for the longest time, and I recommend you doing that in your local area as well. Sai, good to see you. Mochi, good to see you. Uchiha, if there was ever a thing I wish I could pirate, it's the stupid card flicking habit that no one would do, and I think during the game. Yeah, I can understand exactly what you're talking about. Like little that we used to have all the time when we go live. It's the mole. Good to see you. Thank you guys very much. Yes, good news is, as I promised, I was going to go to Lifelink Games to find out if I can get some loose packs. Now, what this means is, yes, I do not have a community box to pull from, so I have no idea what's in these packs or what the hit ratio is or what's going to be left. These are 4 random packs that were bought from Lifelink Games from his prize support collection that he usually sells out to people, but he was willing to sell these to me so I could have these to carry us over to OP17, because now, starting next week, after I get all my OP17 product, one of those boxes that I'm going to be buying is specifically for you guys. So we're going to have an awesome opportunity to check our luck for a manga, god packs, and God knows what else. In those things, of course, all of us will be chasing. It's like, did anybody get it? Did anybody get the manga? Did anybody get this? We got a lot of cases at Lifelink Games. DK, good to see you. So, but we do have a lot of cases coming later because we do host a lot of good games. So good thing supporting your LGS, and something you should be doing yourself. Support your local LGSs. It's kind of redundant, but you get what I mean. The local game store. Get yourself out there. Support those guys. Be thankful. Those are the ones going to have the product this weekend. If they're charging ridiculous pricing, probably should talk to Bondi about getting them to get those things down. Bondi's been doing a really good job of going after ones that want to keep this ridiculous scalper market alive. And I say that because one of the things that I really wanted to get out to the world, when I see all these people talking about, oh, you know, like these market prices are crazy and the scalpers are just out there to make the profit. And it's like, yes, we want to stop the scalpers. We want to stop buying from the scalpers. A lot of us are doing a good job because there's so many scalpers. Scalpers are stuck with too much product and they're getting hurt. And then you have stores like the LGSs and the one that we were talking about in New York that likes to buy from those scalpers, because at the moment to where they're about to have the credit card actually put the wrench on their credit and the wrench on their capability of survivalhood, they save them by buying the product at a reduced market price that is still over the original purchase price that these scalpers bought the box at. So what you're essentially doing is still keeping them alive. So if you're out there as an LGS, do not support the scalpers, do not support this action. Let them starve, let them fall through, because eventually they're gonna run out of whales. And if we don't fix this pricing soon, we're going to have an issue in our marketplace where we lose players. The biggest concern that every card game needs is to make sure that the product is affordable and accessible to everyone to an extra degree to pull in new players while still keeping the game fun, entertaining, valued, and everything else. So it's great. DK is currently on a 3 stream. Hey, thank you. DK is awesome. Thank you. But yes, guys, tell your LGS, bring it to their head, clip that and send it out to them. If you allow you keep buying from these scalpers at these ridiculous prices because you want to sell that product to get your 30%. If you just let the person starve, you could have got them at even below MSRP and got your regular price, and your customer could be even happier because now they get to purchase the item that they should have purchased in the first place and a scalper should not have bought. And I think we understand, we have to go through the definition of what scalping is, guys. So buy the mass amount of product during the release and buy out all the products so other players and other people can't get the product, and then sell to the whales and the individuals that can actually afford those ridiculous prices. And what it does is it kills the lower grade players. I wouldn't say lower grade, just the people like me or the rest of you guys. I can't afford to play those market prices. I need to be able to afford my rent, my other electricities, and I don't have infinite money to waste on a chance of getting something good out of a pack. So I do like the opportunity. I like the ratios. I like a lot of the games in Bondi. They do a really good job of making the prices affordable. And sadly, we just have to deal with scalpers. So if you're out there, hold the line. Don't buy from them. Let them starve. Let the credit cards build up that interest rate and let them punish them themselves. All right, I digress. The point of the first part of today's stream, I have been looking at a lot of the cards. We've read through all the cards that have been released for the set. So I'm going to go to talk to you guys about the commons and uncommons and basically how you should be setting up yourself on the deck as you play the pre-releases this weekend. First and foremost, I recommend you play Rainbow Luffy. If you're LGS, plays by the normal Bondi rules. You can play by pulling a leader from the deck, and you play with said leader. Now you can play any of the other cards. You can mix and match, of course, because there's not enough cards to just lock you into it unless you're the box tournament that we run. That's a special event. That's completely separate. But out of all the leaders that they have in this one, Shanks is probably the closest to being playable without anything else. However, play at your own risk. A lot of these cards require, especially the commons and uncommons are really good ones too, require that your leader be a particular type. They have a lot of leader locked cards in this set. So with that, to open out your capability, ensure that you can play with bigger 10 drops and bigger hits and some of the little sneaky plays I'm going to show you about, you're going to want to stick to Rainbow Luffy to maximize the capability of what you pull. Now, if you have what you consider a pitiful pull and you don't really have a whole lot of going into it, maybe, and you pull Shanks, Shanks is not a bad option. Shanks is a lot like that Bonnie that really wrecked in. If you guys are allowed to play in the older formats where they like bring your own leader, so you could play Red Sanji and sweep a tournament, or you could bring Bonnie and kind of sweep a tournament. Like those two cards, those two leaders are notoriously really broken and limited, and I think we can honestly add Shanks to the broken leaders because it does lock the opponent's character out of the game, which is similar to what Bonnie does, so just resting one every single turn. So if you are going to play a leader, my money's on Shanks being the most viable. There's something to be said about Linlin second, because hitting the hand size, getting the gain life, forcing those plays, honestly, it's pretty powerful. It's what we're expecting to see. But if you don't have a whole lot of Linlin support behind it, I don't know, it's going to make things a little bit awkward. So as leaders go, there are two options. You can go Linlin or you can go Shanks. I don't recommend Whitebeard whatsoever. There's not enough in there to warrant playing it. I definitely don't recommend getting into your Roxy Zebek because of the limitations Roxy Zebek has. The Kaido really doesn't do much for you. And the Monkey D. Luffy, only if you have a significant amount of the black cards that you've got from there and a lot of synergy with it, would that even remotely be a feasible option to play, while also having, remember, if you do leader lock yourself in one of these things, you're going to lose a lot of really powerful card access that you otherwise could have. So if you're out there, that's my recommendations. The only two leaders even warranting a look, Linlin, Shanks, and the rest of them kind of just let those things go. And I still highly, highly, highly recommend Monkey Luffy. And this is going to the fact, I don't know what you pulled. I don't know the ratios of the cards you got. I don't know what you're going to have, but I do know that they do a pretty good job of disseminating different colors per each pack. So you're not going to get a solid themed deck from the 5 or 6 packs that you get for your LGS's release event. So the chances of you building up a themed deck underneath one of those two leaders is not going to be high. And getting all the SRs and the rares that you would need to make that deck synergistic, it's not going to be high. It's very low. So if you're out there, you come this weekend, come in mind with wanting to play the Rainbow Luffy first, and if for some magical reason the cards just align and go in your favor and you have enough to make the synergy work, consider Shanks and Linlin if you pull them, obviously. Consider it. But don't go in there thinking you're guaranteed to get either of those leaders. Both of them are very, very powerful in this limited format. Now, with that, I'm going to pull up the screen here, and we're going to talk about some of the hidden gems that I think you should be looking for this new OP17 release event. Is my button not working? All right, here we go. This is the cardkaizoku.com spoilers list here. It allows me to look at a lot of these things. I like to use this website on occasion. I really do enjoy a lot of the creators out here that do a great number of like making these like great interfaces for you to look at all the new cards. So we will be using that as a quick reference because this is a nice little all-in-one that doesn't require me having to deal with a bunch of ads and whatnot and kind of like taking up the stream. So as I said before, this is fine as a defensive card. It's not really warranted to want to play this as your leader if you pull this deck, because it doesn't do enough given you're going to be sacrificing yourself to only Whitebeard Pirates and 4 Emperor type cards to get those leader locked cards in this. Trashing a card for 4K power isn't bad. That's fine, but it's not that impactful for some of the cards you can be doing with Rainbow Luffy when you can play with all the hits you get, because you got to remember, you could be getting any of these SRs and rares from any of these colors that you would ultimately, if it was leader locked, like I believe the Rocks Pirates 10 cost, which is absolutely insane. That's it. Only characters with counter. This card gains plus 2,000 counter right here. Like, this is kind of like a Rocks D Zebek type card. It's very good. On play, draw a card and up to 2 of your Rocks Pirates with different names, a total of 9 costs from your hand. If you can pull this off, that's fantastic. A 12k body is fantastic. But you're looking at like kind of like this weird synergistic where you'd have to be playing with a lot of cards with no counter to ensure that this has the biggest payoff. Sermon, good to see you. There are other big drops here. I believe the Linlin here, your turn-based power of all your characters with trigger and 4,000 become 8. It's pretty good. On play, draw a card, choose one. This isn't leader lock. This isn't too bad here. So this is a nice, like, you're able to get these SRs. Obviously, you're going to be wanting to play with them. Break down the concept I want to first and foremost. Whenever playing a limited event, there are things that you should be doing when building and constructing your deck. First and foremost, you're going to open up all the packs. You're going to put everything out to make sure you have a curve, because that's the smartest thing to do. You want to make sure that you have a decent 40 card, 50 card curve for you to play into every turn, constantly be impacting the board, constantly be making some changes and forcing some kind of change, because in limited, the most important rule of limited is to always be impacting the board, always be tempoing yourself into a place of a power position. Like, if you're not taking a turn to dramatically change the board state, i.e. cleaning up their board, i.e. putting out some more powerful characters, or taking a massive hits on their life swings, if you're not dramatically changing the board state and doing something to the board state, chances are your opponent is just going to take the tempo away from you and run you over. It's been the thing for every single card game I've ever played. If you're not playing a card, if you're not adding to the board state, if you're not doing something to change the current board state as it is, you will fall behind, and eventually your opponent will steamroll you. Hands down. If you take a turn of doing nothing, you're probably going to be losing the game. So you don't want turns where you just have to load up your leader with 7 Dawn to swing in because it's the only thing you could do that turn. As good as that might be for maybe one hit, a blocker can negate that all the way, and then you're just done dead in the water on the turn in the backswing. Second thing you're going to want to be doing, looking for anything with blocker. You want to pull these things out. This is a first priority one. Look through anything in the decks that have blocker, put those aside and put those in a stack. It's just fundamental rules that for Bondi that are absolutely important, because you never know when there's going to be an opportunity where you're going to want to drop these things down and kind of slow your opponent down, or maybe even stop your opponent from doing those massive big swings in the end game. So you're going to need some kind of answer to stop that. Second thing, you want to look for 2Ks. Hands down, you pull out all the 2Ks you find, you put them in a stack. You put those on the side because you want to make sure you have something near 12, maybe 14 if possible. Obviously, it's all up to chance. But having about 12 2Ks in a limited event is approximately about the best number you can possibly get to. Just trying to get somewhere near there, and your 2Ks is a good position to be in. You want to be able to counter out of your opponent's swings and keep the tempo going in your favor. So getting this many 2Ks, create a pile with it. Cards like this that do protect cards, be very careful with. I will say right now, because when you're trying to protect your board, you've got to be playing on theme. So make sure, like, this would be a great 2K. If your board just happened to be Red Hair Pirates, then it gets an added bonus set outside of its 2K. But the value of this card is more lenient on its 2K capabilities. And I gotta say, like, a lot of these vanilla 2Ks are actually really good adds. Most of the time when I've been playing limited, vanilla 2Ks are just a great little spot because they have some good stats on them. A 7 cost 8K power with 2K. Most of these decks are kind of like underwhelming when it comes to top end, so having these 2Ks in that like mid to top tier curve is actually quite beneficial for yourself. It being a vanilla and you're just capable, let's see, we don't have too many of them, but a 6 cost with 7K power, 2K, not bad. It's a mid-game play. It could be a 2K if you want to, and it ensures that you have some kind of answers in your mid-game if you need to fill that spot for your curve, right? So after you've done that, of course, you're going to pull out all of your SRs and you're going to pull out all of your rares. From here, this is where you're going to be making critical decisions about like how you're going to want to theme your deck. Just FYI, if you play Rainbow Luffy, this doesn't work. We've been talking to a lot of the the judges out there to make sure we get a good proper ruling on here. Rainbow Luffy is considered multicolor. So in this card particular, you will not be able to get the 8,000 power benefit with Rainbow Luffy. Coincidentally, you will be able to get this effect if you play Shanks or Linlin, because all it requires is a monocolored leader. It doesn't require being red leader or being whatever. It just requires monocolor. So if you decide you got this card, or maybe even 2 copies, that'd be insane, but you got this card, the option of adding this to your monocolored leader for Shanks or for Linlin might actually be very viable. I really enjoy this card. It's insane. But obviously SRs are going to be your power hitters. Those are what we call power cards, the bombs, the big cards you guys want. So most of those cards are going to be kind of like dictating exactly how you're building your overall build. If you got a lot of top end, you got some big hitters, you got some game changers, these are the ones that you're going to definitely want to prioritize and put yourself in the deck. And from here, you're going to try and figure out what your base number is for cards you want to play. You've separated with the blockers, you've put out all the 2Ks out, and you've got all your SRs and rares that have a decent ability. Look into those leader locked abilities, because if you are going to try to go with the Shanks or the Linlin, you're going to want to prevent yourself from playing leader locked cards, obviously. That just goes without saying, but sometimes people need reminders. So when it comes to some of the cards that I like for like sneaky plays, one of the things that I thought was actually kind of cute and something you guys should be on the lookout for, if for any reason this is a high roll strategy for you, very, very high roll strategy, prioritize if you get a bunch of these cards and you get a lot of top end cards. So if you want to play nothing but 8s and 10 drops back to back, because your deck is just stacked with these 8 to 10 drops from what you got from your pull, these massive big hitters, this could be a game winning strategy to take your opponent out of the game pretty early. This is honestly a high rolly strategy. It is the Kaido strategy. You could do this with your Rainbow Luffy, obviously, because you need to have Animal Pirate Kingdom here. But if you want to play Rainbow Luffy with all your big 10 costs, this is a sneaky type of, like, you know, ramp up to 10 down on turn 3, start dropping the 10 drops and take the game away from your opponent because they're just playing from behind for too long. Most of the 10 drops have a great game changer capability, a great way to go through. So at this card being at common, if you have like 4 copies of this, honestly, it's not a bad card to run. Not only is it a good 4K counter, if you need to just use it as counter later, but you do have the capability of getting to 10 down on turn 3, which is insane. It means you're dropping some of the most powerful cards that this game has to offer, if of course you were able to pull them with some massive plays. And also, even with that, if you don't have a whole lot of massive plays, if you end up having a lot of things like, say, you've got a lot of these low cost weenies from the Luffy deck, you could drop a full board of these things and swing into your opponent next turn with all these characters that they can't keep up with in that ratio. You will be likely taking some hits, but the likelihood in a limited battle that you take as many as you do in regular constructed is significantly lower. You got to remember, a lot of people aren't going to have a whole lot of fast starts. They're not going to have synergistic decks. So the chances of you taking those 2 hits that we expect after you play this, you're going to be taking 2 to the dome, probably losing 2 life for this, gaining essentially 2 cards from your life because you will be playing a 5 life leader. Because you turned your turn off, yeah, sure, you might take some hits. With that, after that, you can really start punishing your opponent with some of these top end cards that you might have pulled from here. So be wary of this. Be very, very, very concerned that a lot of people may be trying the strategy to ramp out to 10, so you might be wanting to do the same. Is it game winning? No, it's not. It's very dangerous. It's very risky. It is a glass cannon type strategy. You are going to put yourself at risk because you're going to take some early hits. And if your opponent said, you know what, I like all these low cost Luffy cards, maybe I'm going to put this, and I have the ones that go 12 cost, so I can make all these things little 5Ks and 6K swings on my turn, and they just drafted a lot or sealed a lot of these different 2 costs, yeah, you're gonna have a bad day, because by the time you turn your turn off to go to 10, if they've got a full board, you're in nightmare zone. Now with that, a lot of the cards in this deck, these sets today have this on play kill 2 cards, or like kill 2 cost characters, right? Let's see if I can remember some of them off the top of my head here. this is an all-around great card, but it's a rare. Let's see. There you go. A lot of these on play KO to one of your opponent's characters with 2 cost base power or less. Base power is important. This will help you get rid of some of those pieces. This card right here, being uncommon, is an absolute staple. You do have some on plays. Let's see. I got some other ones that do. On play KO to one of your opponent's characters with 2,000 base power or less. A lot of red, honestly. Red is probably the strongest of the colors here, in my opinion. Hey, good to see you, Cherub. Good to see you. But a lot of the red cards probably have some of the best on plays and some of the best abilities, and cards I definitely would be looking into, especially like this one right here. 2K counter, uncommon. On play, KO to 2 of your opponent's characters with 2,000 base cost or less. These base 2,000s are where you want to be, and here's why. A lot of these colors are going to come from countering what I just told you guys to do right in the beginning, which is still smart to do. You're going to have a lot of these like 1K, 2K blockers than a lot of these different colors. There's a lot of low-cost blockers in this deck that just instantly get KO'd on those on plays. So those on play, and especially the package that you can run with the Monkey D. Luffy, a lot of these cards are really cheap, but they do get powered up to 5K bodies if you have a character with 12 costs or more. A lot of people are probably going to be trying to run this to get kind of some low-end rush game. You're going to want to have answers for these type of rush decks. So you're going to want to have cards that prioritize, that have on plays that kill 2K counter. Avoid the cost ones. The cost ones can be too manipulated in this game. So avoid anything that KOs 1 or 2 costs, base, like whatever. Like, unless it says base, avoid it. Try to stay away from it. Because a lot of these blockers are like, some of them are like 3 cost that have these low attack powers. Right? Stick to the ones that read the attack power for the KO feature. A lot easier to run and definitely help you get around some of the blockers that are being released in this set. Sorry, I'm trying to find this thing from memory here, but there are a lot of low cost characters that do have blocker that you're going to want. Let's see, and 2K body as well. You're going to want to have some great mid game answers to kind of like put the tempo back in your favor, if you will. Let's see, looking crossed. Sorry, I have to skim this. I did read through most of these cards, but there are some blockers at 2 costs, 1K body, on KO up to one of your opponents with a 1, including Whitebeard type. Play up to 1 card with a cost of 1, and it's a fine blocker. You don't really care about the on KO ability. If it pays off, whatever. Just because there is a lot of things that do remove these things doesn't mean you shouldn't be playing it, because they have to have it. I definitely don't think that you should be like trying to play 3D chess saying, well, if everyone's going to play this stuff, I'm just not going to, because a lot of these cards that do have the on plays, the KO, also are decent bodies, guys. They're not like they're just a one-trick pony that comes out on the on K, and this one will KO a body, but also on your opponent's turn is an 8K body. So you've got yourself a great 4 cost that's going to be very, very difficult for your opponent to board wipe, and it's uncommon. This is powered abilities like this in red, or something very, very strong for your release, and something you should be focused yourself on. Make sure you're ready to face any of this kind of re-swings, because if your opponent's trying to like basically clean the board or trying to get these things, characters like this are going to be very hard to remove outside of using removal effects. Let's see, what is another one that you really want to prioritize? I hope it's not rare. One second. Is it a rare card? This is uncommon. This is going to be a very, very, very powerful card here. Right here, if you can get these, rest 6 of your Dawn cards, so a total of 7, K up to 2 of your opponent's rested characters that cost 6 or less. This is going to be very, very, very good. On top of that, if you're playing Rainbow Luffy, you get yourself a 4K counter. If you're playing Shanks, it's fine. But this is a great add to your Rainbow Luffy. This is another one of the reasons why you play Rainbow Luffy, because you can play with this uncommon and you can still play with the other 10 drop costs out there. So, hey, by far, prioritize these. This is going to be huge. Most people's decks are going to be in the 6 cost or less range. This is where you want to be. This 2-for-1 is going to change games. 2-for-1s are the best things to prioritize. So if you get this, immediately add this and as many of these as you get as possible, in my opinion. It does have the versatility for the 4K counter too. Let's see. Before we talked about that, we got Rush character cards are always good, but this is a rare. Let's stick to the uncommons and commons because those are the ones you don't know if you're going to get. Counter up to your leader, including Whitebeard Pirates, up to one of your characters, including Whitebeard, gains plus 2,000. These ones are kind of niche. So when it comes to event cards, I don't want you overwhelming yourself with event cards. When you're building a 40 to 50 card deck, make sure you don't really, unless you're doing some weird strategy, try not to use too many event cards for defense. You're going to end up getting more bricks in your hand and limit the amount of plays that you can play and limit the amount of drops you can have. When you're already playing with an inconsistent curve, you don't want to waste your turn trying to figure out how you play in suboptimal play just so you can keep Dawn open for counter cards if your opponent decides to swing some way. These cards are great. I love this card. I think it's fantastic. I mean, you get the basic like maneuver of two different type of characters, so it can kill technically 2 attacks on swing. That's not bad. I don't know why this card text was different in here. This is weird. But this is a pretty good effect. I definitely think like having one in your deck would not be terrible, but you do want to limit yourself on how many events you're playing. So be very, 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 very careful on how many events you end up adding to your deck. Honestly, 8 is the cap for me. 8 is what I would limit the amount of on there, and that is a high end usage. Most of the time I only ever play with about 4, maybe 5 different events in any deck. 8 would be the most you'd ever want to add in your limited deck, just for ratio purposes. Next thing you want to look at, when you're separating your curve, look to see if you can possibly theme your deck in some way. If for any reason you've got a significant amount of these black cards, this is a great opportunity for you to look to see if you can get the big bodies that can go up to 12 cost to enable it, and you can create a very, very powerful rush deck. If you're blessed enough to get a bunch of these little weenie cards in the early game, this is going to be a winning strategy for you in the limited event. But you have to get a significant amount of these to warrant playing this combo. If you have less than half the deck kind of dedicated to this kind of synergy, you really probably shouldn't be playing it, guys. Let's be real. The chances that you can synergize to get the 12 cost enablers and the little weenies to get plus there, I would 100% avoid this unless you can make half your deck into this combo. It doesn't mean you avoid the top end cards, like Monkey Luffy up here is pretty good. You can possibly get this thing Rush. Obviously, if you can get Dorian Brago, those are going to be great card combos on their own. Just on their own, like having these two together, being able to play each other is going to be a powerful turn. So if you can prioritize playing these guys, great. Always try to look for that combo. But again, if you do not have a significant portion of these weenies, do not run this version of the deck. You're just sub-optimizing your deck when you could just be taking the characters that like give unblockable. This one's fine. It's a nice little 2K, and if it happens to synchronize, whatever. Obviously, we take this to 2K first, but this is a nice little card that you can have to kind of sneaky attack in. And not bad at the end common. Obviously, the blockers for commons are good. Down -2, trash 1 card from your opponent's hand. Not terrible. 2K. Probably going to be used for its 2K more often than not. Good mid-game bodies here. Let's see. Other things to look out for. Let's try to stick to the commons and uncommons. Darn. This one is not bad, actually, this Rocks Pirates. This is not Rocks kind of locked here. Obviously, it is for the counter card, so you wouldn't want to play Rainbow Luffy with this. I do not recommend playing Rocks Pirates. Honestly, do not play Rocks Pirates as a leader here. It really does limit the amount of things that you can do with this deck. Obviously, that drawing 2 cards is fine, but you got to reveal a Rocks Pirate card, guys. You got to reveal one. So, at your own peril, you can play that risk. You can play that. A lot of good cards in here that do draw, though. So, I mean, a lot of these are going to be good staples. And good things to put in Rainbow Luffy. Got some great top end. Again, look out for this card. If you can get several copies of it and you have a very, very top end heavy deck, this is a very, very good glass cannon strategy that could win you a lot of games, even win you the event if you high roll. So, if you want to try it, do it. Let's see. Linland cards, try to stick to the life gain cards. Honestly, I don't like investing a lot in these cards if you don't have a 10 cost Big Mom. The stats on these Lifelink cards are almost complete garbage. So if you're looking at the Lifelink, please, 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 please make sure that you just prioritize the ones that gain life. This one right here, Rest to Your Dawn, add 1 card to the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. This is very good. This is fine. At a 6 cost, it's going to cost you 8 Dawn to gain a life, and you're only going to have a 4K body, which is not great. But it is a decent trigger. It is a decent something to get an extra body out there if you want to add some extra power against your opponent's turn. In reality, you really just want to be using these as life gain cards because life gain does a number in limited. It is very, very powerful. So be very, very aware that having life gain cards in the uncommon and common section is going to be a great steal for you. I believe this one is. It's 1 card on top of your deck. Yeah, you got this cracker here. Very good cracker here. This one's sitting at the uncommon spot. It's only going to cost you 5 Dawn. A 1 Dawn investment to a swing is not terrible, but the gain life is going to be fantastic. A lot of these triggers are going to be kind of detrimental, so you got to be don't try to play these if you're trying to play this card kind of thing, because obviously a lot of these cards are only good if you play them on your turn. So if you like this, fine. The problem I have with it, the baseline stats are very, very weak. So if you don't have the 10k mom to pump these things up, avoid these guys. Avoid these guys. You're sacrificing your curve for a very weak character that requires a significant Dawn investment to get swings in. So if you can, please stick to the life gain cards, or if you have the magic combo with the Lifelink, focus on this strategy. But that's what I would do with yellow. For purple, this is all, again, if you get the top end cards, because some of these top end cards are absolutely insane. If you have a lot of these top end cards for purple, this is the perfect strategy for you. There's some great blockers I think you can steal from here. There's some great early game and some great 2Ks that you can get here that have some decent on plays, that do some popping on plays. So definitely prioritize and put those things in here. I love these cards personally. This is a nice little rare card, but again, I don't like talking too much about rares because you're not guaranteed to get it. But if you do have it, I recommend playing with these cards because it does help when you're playing a lot of non-counter cards. Because let's be real, the best cards that are going to be released in this limited are going to be non-counter cards. It has always been the case. Some of the best abilities, the best game changers, never have counter. So if you do get the 0 cost, definitely prioritize putting those things in because it will be pretty good. But like I said, if you can get a significant portion of your deck, about half of it, in these big top end cards for the turn, you're going to want to prioritize this. This is going to be a very, very good hard hitting combo that your opponent's probably not going to be able to come back from. Given after you get up to that 10 Dawn, if you have a bunch of big drops to go back to back with, you will just overwhelm your opponent and they will not be able to come back. Now, if you don't have the big top end here, this is where I recommend you sticking within the red zone and maybe even the green zone. The cards in red and green by far have the best stats, have the best abilities, have the best on plays, and they have the best defensive techniques. Hands down, when you have cards like this for 4 cost, that is a 9k body on my opponent's turn, this is a very, very good card. Plays in defense, very difficult for my opponent to remove, and it has some great stats where I can start swinging in for 6+ with some limited Dawn investment. Red by far has some of the best commons and uncommons that you should be prioritizing when looking at cards. The on KO, the on play cards, they have +8 to there, very good. Giving -4 with Dawn minus, very, very, very good. I love these Dawn minus, or the powered minusing that you get from this. This on play right here is phenomenal. It has rush character and -6,000 power. All you have to do is play with Rainbow Luffy. This is insane. And I mean, obviously it's rare, but cards like this that are in the red decks are very, very good. This Marco, pretty good. If one of your characters will be removed from the field, you can KO this character instead. On KO, you can trash a card with Whitebeards and get it back. So very, very good protection card. Can help save your board, can stop you from getting 2 for 1, and it is at the uncommon range. So if you know that there are a lot of events in here that are going to be causing 2 for 1s, you're going to want to run some protection. So if you see the Marco, please add the Marco to your deck. It's going to be something that's very pivotal to you making sure that you don't get 2 for 1 and get your boards lost. Because if they are able to, which is not going to be too hard, 2 for 1 your board, that tempo swing in itself in limited is enough to basically call the game. I've said this multiple times in Magic when I play limited and all the rest of the card games when I play limited. When an opponent 2 for 1s you, you might as well just concede the game, because 9 times out of 10 the game is over. The tempo swing that you gain from this is so overwhelming that it's like a mountain to climb back on, and you got to have the right cards to be able to immediately 2-for-1 them back in return in order to keep tempo in your favor. So if you can't return the favor, you're going to be losing the tempo, you're going to lose the game. And everyone should be prioritizing getting these cards in here that cost 2-for-1s. They're absolutely insane. All right. Why isn't that working? I gotta talk to my stream deck. That's gonna do it for my set release. I hope that some of these tactics and techniques will help prepare you guys for the release event out here. I wish I could go live like I normally do to walk you guys how I do it. If you guys go back to my old VODs, I've won many of these events. Not in a way to where you think, because most of the time I would concede to my opponent, so I would get in the next player, help new players play the game, and I would give away free packs. I used to do that all the time. It's fantastic. But my win ratio for limited events is significantly higher than any other type of format in any type of game. And I don't do that to brag. I do that to tell you that I've been doing limited for so long that I understand the fine-tuned mechanics that come to how to make a competitive deck. When I'm playing for real, I do pretty well. It's happened time and time again. I played one weekend on Sunday for real and got lucky. I had to get good cards. I'm not saying it was just automatically because I was playing for real, but out of the weekend, I played one game for real and was able to win the tournament in the top speed. I got that amazing Luffy card. I got very lucky that I had the right amount of counter at the right amount of time, because that was really down to exactly having the right counter in that last swing. And I was lucky I had it by 1K to squeeze by that win. It was a very epic game. I wish I could have recorded it. It was really good. But trust me when I'm telling you guys, I've been playing limited for a very long time. I think it's the best way to get new players into it. I definitely recommend it. If you got some friends out here, this is a great opportunity to get them into the game. They're going to be super excited to hopefully get some stuff. I think personally the hits from the weekend of release seem to be weighted. That's probably a bias because everyone's opening stuff, so maybe I'm wrong, but certainly feels like every single time we do these openings, I love just seeing the wave of people getting excited of all the new hits they're getting and what happens out there. So it's just absolutely outstanding. We hear manga pull, SP pull, and you got people screaming from their 6-packs of I got double hit, I got this, and there's so many people screaming. So I feel like maybe bias, release weekends might be weighted a little bit higher, and because they do give that first wave to the LGSs, there is something to say that it's possible, not guaranteed, it's possible. So we'll see. I don't know, you guys tell me what you guys think of that. I'd love to see the chats down below. All right, that is my run. I'm going to put this thing up on YouTube here in a little bit. When I come back to this break, we're going to have ourselves 3 awesome games to get into. We got 3 awesome matches from Lifelink games. We're going to be going from the content from Saturday and from last Tuesday, closing this out to get me caught up. So sadly, I'm going to be in the 3 games and then the 3-game rotation until I can get some more time to make some more content for you. I'd like to do 4 games. More entertaining. More good stuff. I can just look at more decks. But today, I promise you got some great decks to look at. Hope you guys are super excited for this weekend. I'm super excited for this weekend. Get ready for an outstanding weekend. Get to your LGS. Get those Dawn cards. Get those limited edition stamps. Trust me, they're going to be big money. Save those things. Covet those things. Be happy to play with the new cards and celebrate the amazingness that is One Piece TCG. Until then, I'll be right back. Please work.
It's like a dust devil on the plain, blowing in circles all over the place. I feel the wind and I know it's true, but is what's true for me true for you? It's like the waves of the harvest rain. You have to trust that they'll come again. Don't wanna wake if this is but a dream. I want to know if this is what it seems. such a fool. I guess I'm worrying a little strong, but I'm in too deep if it turns out wrong. I see you smiling and my heart slows down. You hold me close and without a sound. I know you love me with a certainty that makes my heart take flight on Cupid's wings. I guess I trust that his aim was true. Two hearts, one arrow, and it went straight through. If this ain't love, then I've gone insane. If this ain't real, then it's such a shame. So stop this world from spinning, there ain't nothing true. If you don't say that you love me, then I'm such a fool. If you don't say that you love me, then I'm such a fool.
Welcome back to Homeworld Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and we're ready for round one of this event. It's going to get a little convoluted because these events are kind of like covering up multiple days. We've had some new streaming setups, some new things, the Lifelink games. I'm now streaming outside of the studio, so I've got to work these and finagle these things, and I've been having issues with like overheating computers and all kinds of nonsense, but that's what happens when you do and introduce new things. You end up having new headaches to take care of, and don't worry, we're going to get through them and everything's going to be back to normal soon. But from this one, we're going to have our finals match from last Tuesday that we were trying to cover up on last Wednesday, but we had just too much content to cover. And of course, we're going to cover two games from Tuesday that we were able to record. The last game couldn't get recorded. I didn't catch them in time for the round 3 to get started and didn't get an opportunity to find someone. I think what had happened is one of the individuals that was in the top didn't want to be on the camera, and that just forced the hand where I wasn't there to force the other person to play in there. Things are getting pretty tight though. We've had a lot of points, a lot of weeks out there, a lot of great decks topping, doing some amazing numbers. I've really been enjoying this format and the OP16/ starter deck format where a lot of people are playing this new stuff, and we're going to see some of it today. For what we're going to see, and we're just 1 week away from having a massive meta shift when we get to the OP17 next weekend, or I'm sorry, next Wednesday. I am going to be going over a tier list with you all. I'm going to be telling you guys basically on paper what I think are the best decks to prioritize and look into, especially going to be trying to play for the Gum Fruit tournament. My predictions, my recommendations, and obviously if you stick with me, I'm going to be watching and playing all these card games pretty rapidly and more frequently leading into the next season because I want to make sure that I'm prepared. There's a lot of us out there that got blessed with the capability of going down to Dallas, and I hope to see you there. Me and River are going to be heading down there together, hopefully doing our best to get 3 wins, at least 3 wins, to get ourselves some awesome prizing, but also just be blessed to be in that arena and in the opportunity to get to those awesome prizes, because they're going to have event exclusive stuff that are always really good to pick up. They're going to have some really good stuff to buy, and of course MSRP for different prices and boxes, and then we'll probably get our chance to get some of the new set at MSRP. So far as we get in line at an early enough time and get ourselves the opportunity. And if they limit it like 1 box per person, which I really hope they do, I'm hoping Bandai has gotten smart with this, where they limit the amount of sales so you don't have people buying out the cases before anybody else has an opportunity to get it. First couple times I went out to Bandai Card Fest, they were giving PRB boxes out and cases of it, and people were buying cases of it, and by the time the next hour came up, they were already sold out. So hopefully they learned, and we put out a lot of like different things in their surveys to prevent them and stop them from doing that. So here's hoping we'll have a good time. We'll get down there. I'll get the event exclusive stuff. I'll of course get it for all the different card games because I play them all. I love them. And I'll have an opportunity to get there. And on top of that, for those not aware, this weekend is the Anime New York City Comic-Con, or Anime Convention, not Comic-Con. So, the Comic-Con's in October, but New York City Anime Con is this weekend. So on a whim, I was able to take off Thursday, and I'm going to be heading myself up there on Thursday to play an event, this box tournament that they're having, and I'll be looking to see if I can get some of those goodies up in New York City. So if you guys are in the area and can do something similar, it's about 6 hours from where I live, so we're going to be taking a quick shot up to New York City, spending most of the day over at the anime convention for Thursday only. That way I can be back on Friday, because Friday, of course, is the release weekend. We got the release on Friday, we got the box tournament in the early afternoon, we got the release event on Saturday evening, and we have the Sunday release event. All of us trying very, very hard to get those awesome prize cards from those release events, because those ones with the winner stamp and all those amazing cards you get from that, big money, big stuff out there for you guys. I sincerely hope the rest of you guys have an opportunity to get your access to those cards, and leave this, even just the release stamps are seriously going to be worth some good money. So it's going to be a great weekend. I hope you're prioritizing attending at least one release event this weekend, trying your chance to see how well you do and this new meta. It's gonna be a great opportunity to see all the awesome polls. I hope you guys post in my Discord all the awesome polls you get. Please, let's celebrate it. Let's remember, you put good out there, good comes back your way. So if anyone pulls something great, congratulate that person and welcome them, because one day it's gonna be your day and you're gonna want the same treatment. All right, let's all agree together that that's how we're gonna move forward. Now with that, we're going to get into round one. We got 2 decks. I'm super excited to show you. Lithium playing a deck that went absolutely undefeated against James K, that also had a really interesting deck that went all the way undefeated. These deck lists, of course, can be found on my Patreon account for absolutely free. You can become a member today for free and get access to all the deck lists before I go live, and be able to look at them and then reference them at any time you want to. If you'd like to donate something, awesome. I appreciate it. It really goes a long way to the channel. If you don't have the money, that's not why I'm here. I'm here to support you guys and create some awesome entertainment. So I really do appreciate all the patrons that are supporting me, and all the ones that can't afford. Just thank you for being here, and I appreciate you. Devs, you know what I'm talking about. All right, let's get into the deck list with something really special, and something that they kind of like sparked up at the new Star Deck releases. The new Straw Hat Sabo? All right, so those that know what I'm talking about, Sabo has been a very, very underrated leader with a very massive capability here. Now, you'd think that this would be revolutionary locked, and for the most part, people kind of played around this being revolutionary locked because it had the 8 cost kind of restriction. There was things that your deck had to do to get that 8 cost restriction up there, and things to make this really powerful. But with that, Don times 1, you can give all your characters and your leader plus 1k. So this can be a 6k leader after it gets down to 3 life. Now you do have to have a Dawn attached to it, which kind of synergizes really well with some of the stuff we got from the new the Luffy deck, Star Deck 21 reprint. And it does a really good job of powering up the rest of your opponent's field as well. So something you got to really pay attention to. This is a really nice little power upgrade for decks that can kind of surprise you. And with this one, Refusa says elbow looks like so much fun. Oh, they call it elbow. Interesting. Elbaf. Is that what they call it? I've been debating on using it. No. Are we talking about something else here, Refusa? Elbow is the Elbaf one. Oh, yes, use the new Elbaf cards. Yes. Especially since they have ways to get 12 costs quite easily, too. Yeah, Refuse is talking about the future set here. Stuff that people are trying out on the sim. Playing the Elbaf Luffy package inside this new Sabo, which, honestly, It's a good choice. You're powering up those characters with a free plus 1,000. So if you can synergize with it, I mean, you're going to get that plus 1,000 to your 5. So now you don't need even to use Dawn investment to have 6k swings, which is pretty strong. And you have early stagers that are going to be plus 12 cost to have that 8 cost or more. So as long as you can take the life in the early stages, heck yeah. Elbow, let's go. I like that. That's an interesting name. It's like the Sabo and Elbaf. I like that. That's cute. All right, starting off, of course, we're going to get in the searchers here. Egghead, Straw Hat type character in red. Jewelry Bond is going to be there. Nami, that's never going to go away. It's always going to be one of the top staples for Straw Hat decks in red. Because it is a manga, it will be in the format forever in every block rotation. We have Brook, that's an enabler to add some Rested Dawn to your leader, which is going to be very important when we get to the top end of the deck to start showing where this is powerful. But it is a 2k on top of that, while also having a really good effect of being able to add those Rested Dawn, which really make for powerful swings. We get an early game blocker and also something that's going to anti-removal. Only at 1 in this one because I don't think there's not a lot of room for cards like this, but still very, very good. We have the anti-blocker 2k. Love this, Sanji. This is the one you got to be very careful with. If you're ever playing competitively, this is why we have the rule in this channel. If you are at 1 life and you have blockers, use the blockers if you can. Never go to 0 life with blockers, ever. Because of cards specifically like this. Your opponent loves to set you up for a situation where, oh, I can block the last attack. And they play this and say, no, you can't. And this thing just takes the game away from you. So be very, very careful. A lot of cards, a lot of, in this format, and even in all formats, all the colors have access to these like unblockable enablers. We got it in black with Monkey Luffy. We got it in what is it, on blue with Sanji. Ironically, help both of those things. You've got it in yellow. I can't remember what it is. There is a yellow one that gives unblockable, but all the colors basically have access to this kind of like sudden surprise unblockable character that's going to be rushing at you. So that's why the rule sticks the way we stick to it. If you have that, seriously, make sure. Now, one of the funny things about this deck, if you look at it, there's no 8 cost in this deck to get that +1 bonus. It's really playing just a nice little rush package of Straw Hat here, except for this one. This is the enabler. This is going to be a card that sadly is at 3, which is kind of interesting. I do like this on play, trashing 3 cards on the top of your deck and getting a 2 cost back, because a lot of these 1 cost, 2 costs right here are great enablers here. It's a very cool card that was designed for the Brook deck to get some extra power, but this is pretty much your only enabler, so you got to be very careful to make sure you can get access to this card if you want that plus to the field here. You do have to have an 8 cost in the field to get this action up and going, so be careful with this deck. I'm a little surprised that this is the only enabler in this deck, which is why I kind of lean with Perfuse on Elbow being a nice little added bonus to this. But I think ultimately what this deck is trying to do is just basically rush your opponent down. You've got some amazing type cards playing this Monkey Luffy that used to be really kind of locked into the Rayleigh deck, but did still have some capability where you have the capability to give this plus 2k by revealing if you have 2 Dawn cards given. I'm sorry, if a total of 2 or more given Dawn cards, you get plus 2k, so you get a nice little 6k swing. But on play, you can reveal 2 event cards from your hand, play up to 1 red character with 3,000 power or less. Well, there's a lot of cards that you can target with this, so you can kind of go wide in the early game with this card, and you got yourself a nice little swing on the end phase. I remember when I was playing Rayleigh, this was the staple card you had to have. You just don't swing with Frankie unless you've got a second one with second docking, the Pirate Docking 6. Yep. Refuser, 100% correct. You would definitely, the problem I'm having is it's limited to 3, that he only has 3 in the deck, so the chances he sees it are not gonna be great. You do have a lot of searchers, which I'm sure you prioritize getting this as quick as possible because they're all looking for Straw Hat. So I'm sure that when we see this game, he's gonna be searching dramatically for this one to get things going. But you're 100% correct. Never swing with this unless you can protect it. Of course, you got the Rush Luffy that's always been pretty good from the last Starter Deck 21. This one you can give Arrested Dawn to your leader on attack, or to this card, but it's a nice little rush card that gets in there. We've got the 5 cost Sanji that Dawn times 2 gets rush on play, draw 1 card, play it to 1 Strike Crew with a cost of 5 or less. Very, very, very good card. I mean, it's only swinging in for 5 with the rush on 7 on turn, but the fact that you can play a character out for free is what makes this deck ultimately really, really strong. There's a lot of different targets for the slow game, so you're going to get a lot of these early game enablers, including this Monkey D. Luffy with the Sanji, and this Russian Luffy, and the Pirates 6. I mean, you get basically any character this thing's playing for free outside of the new Star Deck 21 card that was just released here. This one's seen a lot of play in most red decks because it's very good. I mean, you get all you have to have is 3 Dawn Given, and he has Rush. And on play, for every Straw Hat type character, you can give one character minus 1,000 times that many Straw Hat characters. So optimally, if you have cards like Stage that count, or you have a full board and your leader, which in this deck won't count because this is not Straw Hats, this is just Revolutionary Army. But if you had a Straw Hat deck, you could potentially get minus 7k on the board. This one, the max is going to be 6, but still very, very powerful. And minus 6 power on play is really good. It gets rid of those 12Ks. It gets you an ability to run over those 12K bodies and something you to deal with those big threats. And that's honestly something that I enjoyed from the limited ability of most of the red decks that we're going to get in OP17, is there are a lot of cards that have this great on play of reducing the attack and making it so you can swing into these big bodies that are likely going to be all over the field. Of course, you got Bad Manners Kick Course to make sure that all this no counter doesn't go to waste here, because you do have a lot of no counter. And you're going to have a lot of events because you're playing this Monkey Luffy combo here. You got Mole Pistol. That's a great answer to getting some cards removed. Get to one of your opponent's cards minus 5,000 power. Then if you have a 6,000 power more, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 2,000 power less. Most of the time you can just do the reduction, or you can do the kill effect if you need to for big pack power cards. You got 4K defenses with time to the counterattack, and of course ground death. And of course we're playing Supreme Hockey. Very good card here, up to one of your characters or Silver Rayleigh gets plus 2k during this battle. Then you may rest one of your Dawn cards and give one of your opponent's leaders minus 1k. This is going to be like nice little zero cost 2k counter, essentially, to hand, but also has the capability of reducing all your opponent's characters by 1,000, so negating more effects than you realize. And very good in the Luffy format in the future here, as well as very good against the Yamato matchup. This will be a great way to counter a lot of the swings that you're going to see in Yamato. So I like this card as a nice little add into red decks, something you should look into. While it doesn't protect your leader, it does protect your characters and give you an opportunity to really kind of like turn the turn off if you play it correctly and have that one open Dawn. This is our Luffy, or the Straw Hat Sabo deck in its entirety for the first makeup for Lithium. Now we're going to get into another fun deck from James K, our the first time two-time Panic QC. Good to see you. Thank you. Strabo, that's what it was, Profusa. Thank you, Strabo. Sorry, I know it was like, I know some of the names are going around. I just couldn't remember the nickname, but Strabo. We're going to get to Elbow soon, but we got the Strabo. And Pano QC, good to see you. Make sure you join my Discord to make sure I can have a way to contact you if you do win the pack at the end of the stream. All right, Blast in the Past. I like this. This was one of the cards that we definitely saw kind of like getting powered up by the Katakuri deck. I like this one because yellow does add some significant power. They one of the things that I found funny is that I see the power side of this deck being in the yellow side, and even saying that, I do know that James K is actually playing heavy on the purple side because of the upgrades that we got from Katakuri. So interesting that he went with that. I do like this mixed leader, it having access to yellow and all that life gain and all that power, and with the 10 cost big moms and the 6 cost big moms and the 8 cost big moms. Like there's some great like game changers that you can play in this deck, but this one's going to be leaning more heavy on the purple side, the new that kind of Katakuri combo that we're going to go over in just a minute. But this one, when attacking, you may tune 2 cards of your life face up, add up to 1 Dawn from the Dawn deck, and rest it. It's a nice little once per turn ramper by making sure you can reveal 2, of course. Charlotte Blue for the nice little searcher. We got Ananana, which is a nice little blocker here. We got another searcher with Charlotte Pudding. Activate main down -1, rest this character. Look at the top card of your deck, of your opponent's deck. This isn't terrible. It's not. This is really kind of like kind of a Katakuri effect. So I'm really going to be using it for the searcher, to get the proper cards in this deck. But if you want some game information, it's not a terrible effect in the late game. Sometimes if you just want to look to see what your opponent could possibly have as an out, it is a sneaky good card in the late game. Pano QC says, could you link this deck to me, please? I can, absolutely. Now, I also have a Discord link here. You're going to have to copy and paste the entirety of that. I don't know why it just cuts off like that, but you're going to have to copy and paste the entirety of that link. But any of all the deck lists I have on my Patreon account, and you can become a free member today if you'd like to see these deck lists. I post all the deck lists there and keep them there. So if you guys ever want to find out what I was covering, that's a great way to check out those deck lists. And again, like I said, you can join as a free member and get access to it. I make those always available for free members. Charlotte Smoothie on play. If you have a face-up card, KO up to one of your opponent's characters that cost 2 or less, then turn all your life cards face down. Not only is this a great 2K, not only is this a great synergy to make sure you can get those things down so you can ramp again with Charlotte Pudding, but this is a phenomenal card for the current meta where we have to play against a lot of these goofy type decks that are out there and these low-cost characters, which isn't really going to change going into the next meta. I will say that I wouldn't trust this against the Albath Luffy deck, considering that one likes to plus the cost of the characters quite a bit, so you're not often going to have the opportunity to be able to KO them given they have those cost boosters. But it is still very good because Luffy will there are windows of opportunity that will make this very good into the Luffy deck in the next format. Baby 5 because it triggers amazing and it's a 2K. Good stats. Charlotte Cracker. This one on play, you can, if your leader's Big Mom Pirates type, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and rest it, then KO to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less. Again, very good in this format. A lot of people playing the weenies. Get rid of those early game weenies. You have to have answers against Goofy or you're just going to get run over. Charlotte Katakuri, one of the few answers you can target with that 2-cost Katakuri we kind of skipped over. You can sack to get this one. This one you may turn 1 card to the top of your life cards face down, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So nice little ramper that synergizes very well with the Pudding and can be free played with this 2-cost Katakuri. You can also play what's in the top end of this deck. We got the Charlotte Katakuri. This one's a very good blocker. You can swing with this. It restands itself and something else, or 2 other cards if you just want to leave this in resting state for some reason. But you do have the opportunity to your end step to protect some of your best value cards. And let's be real here. What we're trying to protect is this Big Mom here. This Big Mom, 12K, don't want to make it vulnerable on attack, but when this thing hits, it hits hard. Dawn -4, you may trash 1 card from your hand, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to your life card. So, ooh, life gain in purple. We love life gain in purple, don't we? Then, up to one of your opponent's characters' base power becomes 0. Base power becomes 0. Anything, even a 12K body, becomes 0. Now your little 1K weenie searchers are going to get some value swings and whatever this thing runs into. This is a card killer, let alone, and this deck can easily be replaced and you can get back to 10 Dawn immediately if you play sequence it properly. But this is an absolutely devastating card. This card powered up Katakuri, powered up Charlotte Pudding, and all the rest of the Big Mom Pirate type cards. Like, this is a phenomenal card that just got released in the new Star deck, and why that deck sold out so quickly in the early. Of course, we're going to play You're the One Who Should Disappear because it's by far the best 0 cost in the game. The chances of making sure that your last hit is this and you get to gain 1 extra life. I've seen this win so many games on live feeds and other games on Sims. It's been insane. I know it's a chance that it has to be the last one. There's not a lot of fixing for life in here. But if this card was the last card in your life, whoo, boy, is it a game changer. Pano QC says, seems also cheap than the pure Purple Cotty. It is actually quite cheap, considerably. But then again, I think most of the time for One Piece, I've been really enjoying the fact that most One Piece decks are underneath $100 as a Magic the Gathering player, and I've been playing for years. Having a deck under $100 and most of them being in the $50 range always feels pretty good. So, but it is definitely cheaper than the Purple Katakuri deck. So you got that. All right, these are our 2 decks, and these are our 2 Titans. Winner of this deck is going to win the event from last Tuesday. So what we're going to see here is James K. Is he going to be fast enough to get under? Is he going to be able to ramp out fast enough to topple over Lithium, or is Lithium going to rush him down into oblivion before he gets even to the 10K Big Mom? I'd say Lithium definitely is going to be focused on trying to get underneath this deck. It is a 4-life leader, so he does have that advantage. And that -1K is kind of like, it's kind of an annoying situation where you do have to allocate the Dawn, but we do have the 1000 Sunny, so we can still get our 5K swings on curve here. But it's one of those things where it's like, I'm kind of enticing you to swing, and I'm going to take so I can get to 3 life and instantaneously start keeping those, oh, good pick up from the search here, but get our leader up to 6K for the turn. Getting the docking station, as we said, this is the only enabler for this deck. So obviously Lithium using 2 searchers off the bat. Luckily on the second search, able to find one. We're going to get an early ramp here from James K. 5K and a 4. Easy take for Lithium. Obviously, he's going to be incentivized, wants to get this leader down to 3 life as soon as possible to get that bonus. And now we have a quick answer for this Drury Bonnie with Charlotte. Instant combo to turn those things face down so we can ramp again next turn and instantly get rid of the 2 swings Lithium was threatening this next turn. Professor says, don't play yellow. The heck with Borsellino, $35. Most yellow decks with 4 of him. Yeah. Sadly, there are a few decks out there that are kind of expensive. Borsellino being one of the ones that are pushing it up there. But I think that's going to change very dramatically when we get to OP17. I have a strong feeling those Borselinos are going to be dropping to about the $10 range. Watch out for that. That's my prediction. 5K into life. Looks like we got ourselves a nice little take for James K and a pass. Got a blocker also for Lithium. So up to this turn, it looks like we're going to be able to ramp one more time. Up into the 2, 3, 4. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7 Dawn here on the ramp. Now that James K was able to sequence right here. So this attack should be revealing the cards. Getting that extra ramp. Beautiful. Stamped cards here. Man, he really loves this deck. Lithium going to use blocker on that one. Interesting. I guess trying to save himself just in case for an allocated Dawn for a Charlotte smoothie swing. But no, James K deciding to go with a much slower route here. Going to ramp up with the Charlotte Katakuri and put out a nice little blocker with an Anana. All right, docking 6. Ooh, okay. Wait. No, Sanji going to be playing out the docking 6. Here we go. Going to draw a card, play out the docking 6. Has the allocated Dawn now from the Sunny. Yeah, just gonna. Yeah, hasn't rested the Sunny yet, but it will be able to get that rested Dawn back there. Mochi Gamer said this matchup was so scary for Pudding. It was like really fun game that day. I believe it, Mochi. Using Sunny to get that attached Dawn. 5K to life. Refuser says Sunny won't add Dawn to leader. It has to be to Luffy. Oh, that's a good point. Thank you, Profusa. Thank you. James K, I think, is catching that as well. Yeah, I think that's what the discussion is at the table here. We do have the plus cost here, so the leader having the Dawn is going to be essential to get that 6K. But Sunny, you're right. Refuses a good catch. Thank you. That's going to be it for the turn, looks like. Didn't have the 2 Dawn to get the rush for Sanji, which is quite all right. Good board state here for Lithium. Is going to have the 5K for the turn, not 6K. Due to the 12 cost up there, what is this, 11 cost docking station. James K going up 6 into life here. Looking for a 2K. Lithium gives it up with a Brook. And Katakuri with the swing. It's for 7. That one's a tick. Now, instantaneously, all these characters getting the +1 power. Charlotte Katakuri, the SP of all things, going to restand the Charlotte Katakuri. Now James K fully protected from all these different swings here. Engines all a go. I think James K just one turn away from dropping this Big Mom and really taking this game into favor. But needs to have some way to basically remove this docking 6 if he really wants to just pummel Lithium. Lithium at the 8 Dawn turn here. We'll see if we get another good play here. We do have some decent swings. Got a blocker with the Ronor Zaro. Obviously, Sanji can come in for the swing and Leader can come in for the swing. Review says, Panel QC. What did he say here? I can print you some if you want, and shipping a little bit. Each of them. Oh, in Canada. Yeah, the shipping really hurts for Pano. But I have the 3D printer file. Okay, I mean, there you go. These 3D printing things are really great. I love these things. The ones that came out free, fantastic pickups. I really like the I picked up a lot of these dice, of course, from the anniversary set. So I've been playing with those for a while. Yeah, and Bamboo Labs. Great call up, Diffuser. All right, Rush Luffy on the attack here. This one can add that rest of Dawn to leader here. Gonna get a free block from the Katakuri. And good call on James K here, because not a lot of threat now that we've played the Luffy here. There's not a whole lot of threats here coming in for massive swings. Sanji requires a bit of some Dawn investment. I don't think Lithium is ready to give up the pit capability of his docking 6 for a main on this field here to keep that bonus up. Here comes 7. James K on the take. Already knew what it was. Interesting. All right, simple counter out for James K. Back to his turn. We should be at 10 Dawn here, and it looks like we're tapping right now. 10 is we're gonna see the Charlotte Linden. He's pulling it to the front. And there it is. Dawn -4, likely going to make this Luffy into a 0 cost here. Gonna heal up. Yep, that is the target. Easy swing here. Yeah, there you go. James K gonna restand that. I was wondering if the Katakuri is gonna get restung. I know I hadn't swung yet. 5 into Sanji. Looking for some counter. We'll see if Lithium gets it up. He does. Give that up here. 7 into Sanji. I don't think this one's gonna stand. Here comes Katakuri for 8 into the board here. 4K counter is going to be the counter for the turn. And Katakuri is going to restand Katakuri. Back to Lithium side. 3 life each. Board a lot less significant here than James K's little pudding here, but very, very strong start. We're hitting all the pieces here. Get the rush here. Gonna reduce the Katakuri by 1, 2, 3, 4,000 total power here. Needs to get 3 allocated Dawn if he wants to get this character rush. Here's 1 of the allocated Dawn. Comes in for the swing. That's gonna power it up for a nice little 7K swing. Sunny gonna add some rested Dawn to the Luffy. Still need to rest 1 more. Oh, all right. Making the docking 6 vulnerable here. Here comes the 8. Looks like Lithium's still going to start, actually going to start racing. James K on the take. $10K swing still left here. 1 blocker. I believe all Lithium's Dawn has been exposed this turn. In a decent position to be able to survive next swing with his board state here. And Anana with the block. James K checking to make sure that the power reduction is only for the turn. It's a mole that says that was the 9 with the leader ability. Oh, that's right. 9 with leader. Thank you. Yes, I keep forgetting this Sabo keeps buffing everything up with that swing. And one cherub says, I'm local and I definitely need some as well. I'll pay. Those are nice things to get on. Maybe I'll get into some shipping thing on my Patreon and start shipping some of those out. I do have a 3D printer behind me, so I can do that. Yes, it's small. I figured you were talking about this, the dockings. Thank you. 7K swing into life. Lithium on the take here. After having survived the last 2 attacks. All right. Charlotte Pudding. With some more draw power engine here. And here comes Katakuri. Restanding the board. Now James K in a full defensive position. Lithium can't go board. Has to go life. Surprised James K didn't try to go harder to try to get rid of this docking station, but I guess he's really just trying to make sure that he maintains a good, powerful swing. James K definitely threatening to go for game next turn, given Lithium doesn't have the defensive power. He's got the board state. He's got the blockers. Lithium going to power this up. We've got a total of 9K swing coming into life here. This making the Katakuris at least have to give up a 2K with the block. See what we get here. James K asking for information, wondering what should I expect? How much rush am I going to expect here? What should I be counting out of here? Should I use up my blockers now? It's looking like he's going to have to use some of those 0 costs. 3 of them in hand. That's not where you want to see him. But going to block in 2K. Lithium still with 7 Dawn available left to here. Can get a play to get a Dawn rest, the Sunny to the Luffy. Nope, yep, not time to activate. Gotta rest some Dawn. Can't give a given Dawn here. Moch Gamer says, yeah, at this point it was making sure I didn't die off the unblockable Sanji coming down and kill me. Yep, it is why you have to be very, very, very careful. Why we have a rule about if you're at 1 life, never, ever, ever put yourself down to an unblockable swing. Xander, good to see you. Looks like we're going to get the free play from Luffy with the 2 revealed. Give it up. We have a removal card and a 0-cost counter. Lithium trying to block, build up for some defensive power here. Let's see, giving up, let's see, we got 7, 8, giving up 2 open still. 1 more can be given by the Sunny. Can swing in for 5, 6 with the power up from Luffy, or from Sabo here. An 8. Grabbing the 2K off the top here. So James K gonna have to be very, very wary of losing it out. There are 2 open Dawn left. But Lithium kind of playing his hand, kind of revealing he has the 2K unblockable. We'll see how he wants to sequence this one. James K got to make sure he doesn't lose this turn. He survives. He's definitely in it for the game. Here comes 5, 6 attack. Using the last 2, James K should have a sigh of relief. Doesn't have to worry about the unblockable coming down here. A 6K. Take the free block. We're going to be taking some massive swings here from Docking Station and the Monkey Luffy. We've got significant counter hand, enough cards to discard for the +3. And now that James knows there's no unblockable coming, on the take. Looking for some 2Ks. Looks like he got the na-na-na. Has at least 9K counter in hand right now. Rest of the Sunny. This will be an 11K swing. Comes 3. 10. Is that right? And Lithium not willing to swing with the Docking Station. Interesting. You'd have the blocker to respond to it. Wait a minute. Oh, he used blocker for that. Did I just miss that? I think he used blocker but didn't indicate. Didn't turn it. Here, guys. Sorry. Mochi, you're going to have to correct me on here because I'm pretty sure that's how you counted out of there. Because that 5K from an 11K swing, that gets you out with the blocker here. But it doesn't get you out of an 11K swing into life here. Unless I'm missing something. All right, James K on the offensive, trying to close it out. 8-6. No blockers on Lithium's side. He's going to need to defend out. Looks like Lithium discarding the 0 cost and 4 cost for the counter here. At least that's what it looks like. Given that 3K counter. Lithium's going to have to survive all the rest of these swings here. We got 12K coming in. Another 8K, 7K, 5K, 5K, and that's without Dawn allocation. We still have all 10 Dawn. James K likely going to be reserving all these Dawn just to make sure that he's got enough to swing in here. Needs to get 3 of these to land to win the game. Lithium on the take for the first. It's got to be a nice little sigh of relief for James. That mountain's a little bit easier to climb. And he's looking into potentially doing some allocation. And it could look at the trigger here. All right, we got ourselves a power reducer. Bad Manners kick course, reducing by 3. Now this shot of Curry, gonna need some Dawn allocation. Here comes another 8. It's gonna get it this time. What looks like with Ground Death. Imagine that was actually a discard from the 0 cost. 12K. Yeah, I like this idea. James K, swing, climb the ladder. Don't go big yet. 12K, climb that ladder. We got ourselves a nice little 10K swing and a 6. Gonna look for 5. From Lithium here. Lithium on the take here. No counter here. Swings at 12. Test the waters. Get all that counter out as much as you can here. Getting the 2K. 2K. Yep, and that's going to be enough. James K recognizing the easy swing with 10 to life. Ends the game, and Pudding takes home the championship from Tuesday night. Panel QC says, you guys always swing from lowest to highest power? No. This is a strategy that I like to enforce where you get the climbed ladder. Typically, mathematically, and more feasibly, the best way to play the game is to swing upwards. Now, there are situations where mathematically, obviously in niche situations, it is different to like swing with different to try to get a test to see how much counter your opponent has. If you're smart enough to understand what they're taking, how quickly they take, and you can use that in your advantage to do that math, great. If you're new to the game, climb the ladder. That is how I recommend all players play. When you're getting out there the first time, you're trying to learn all the mechanics, go low to high, because every single swing after, if it connects, you're going to be potentially adding 2K counter to your hand, and you're going to have to swing a little bit bigger to get the next one to swing. So personally, I always recommend climb the ladder on your attack swings. Is it always right? No. There's always going to be oddballs. There's always going to be things out there that you probably should look into the more intricacies of it. But until you can play at the level where you understand that a 10K swing can give you information, and you're feeding for that information, and you understand when the appropriate time to do that is, climb the ladder. Just use the default. It's the best, safest way to play the game. 9 times out of 10, it will get you out of any situation. And it's how I recommend all new players get into it. So if you want to stay tuned, I'll definitely be telling you games where it's actually intelligent to swing with a big character to gather that information to know how much Dawn you need to allocate for the win. But if you can't allocate that Dawn, it's never good to go big first, because it just makes the next swings a lot easier to counter. All right. Thank you very much. I'll try that out. All right, good, panel. I hope you do. It's seriously, there's some rule of thumbs of this game that we've been playing since day one that are honestly just the best rules to follow when you're getting ready for this game. If you, like I said, if you have a blocker, never go to 0 life if you have a blocker. Never go to 0 life if you have a blocker. Take the block, if you can block, of course. Why? Roger, unblockable enabler. Almost all the colors have access. Never put yourself in that trap. And James K was a great demonstration of exactly that, as he looked at the Dawn, looked at the deck, and said, what are the chances of you giving a character unblockable? Do I need to counter that attack? Professor says, what are you going to play next set, Humbro? So the next set, I am going to talk a little bit more about this on Wednesday, where I'm leaning into it. At the moment, Portgas Ace Red. At the moment, I am prioritizing Portgas Ace Red. Why? It's fast. The power cards you got from Whitebeard Pirates are insane, and the cards that you can put in there are just like the deck was already pretty strong. So at that point, that is where I'm prioritizing my efforts, but I'm still looking into playing Big Mom and into Shanks. Both those decks feel very, very strong to me, and I do want to get it ready for the Flame through. So out of those 3 decks, those are the ones I'm going to be looking and practicing the most in preparation for the Flame through. Yeah, but honestly, on paper, I think Portgas Ace Red from S16 with all the new Whitebeard support, oh, it feels so good. It feels so strong. Just like the new Whitebeard, oh, it looks so good. We'll see how it goes, guys. Stay tuned for that. Of course, I'll be looking for as many of those Whitebeard cards from all the people out there. So if you guys get Whitebeard cards, let's trade, please. All right, guys, I'm going to take I can't wait for this weekend. Same. I'm going to take a very, very quick break. I'm going to get the board set up for our next match. We're going to get right into game one. Really fun match here. We're going to have Yamato versus Stardeck 21 with Patrick's first time on camera and Sea Dogs. Number 20? I know, Sea Dogs awesome. Can't wait to see our game. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
We make our plans and steady our hands to hold the things we've made. And we're so impressed that we forget to number our days. The shadows are shifting like melodies drifting through grass that will wither and fade. Oh, death without last breath, what will we say? He said he's coming right where he left off, just as he stepped out of the tomb. Anthems of angels, clouds of the morning, without any warning, he's coming soon. 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 Can't quite remember where we left off as you stepped off of the plane. It's always little things that keep changing
Welcome back to Homebrew Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and we're back for round 2 of today's event. We've got 2 great decks to go up for what's essentially round 1 of our Saturday event that we held at Lifelink Games. It's going to be 2, well, I wouldn't say 2 new decks. We got 2 very fast decks coming up head to head up in this round. We got Yamato Black versus the Star Deck 21 deck from Patrick. His first time ever being on stream here. So guys, give him some credit. It's only his 4th or 5th ever event, him playing the game. He's been getting into it just here recently. I've had the pleasure of playing him and had the pleasure of trying to help him get his deck and try to teach him certain strategies and ways to beat certain decks and help him understand what exactly the deck is trying to accomplish. Again, if you're new to this game or you're trying to help new people get out this game, some of the best advice you can have outside of the base rules is trying to explain to people what exactly the deck is trying to accomplish. Every deck, because of all the searchers and all the stuff that we're doing, is always trying to accomplish something. Either I'm trying to go fast, I'm trying to gain a bunch of life, or I'm trying to stall to the Big Ten, I'm trying to freeze your board, I'm trying to get myself or you down to 0 life so I can win with Roger. Maybe I'm trying to get to a situation where I just pummel you down with offensive power and just big B6. Maybe I'm playing Kaido and I'm just throwing these 9 and 10 costs at you every turn saying, answer my threat. Or maybe I'm a glass cannon like Sengoku, just dropping admirals on the field left and right, saying, hey, deal with this board state. Help your opponents out there. Let them know what the deck's trying to accomplish, what it's trying to do. And that way it'll help them become better players out there. And remember, if you help those people get better, you in turn will get better. Because if you sharpen the blade and make sure that everyone's playing at a higher level, you yourself become a better player in return. So please do that. But now we're going to get into a very fun match. Sea-Dog, who's won quite a few of these events, has been doing phenomenal with this Yamato deck. Very, very strong, so long as it doesn't fail against its biggest weakness. And we'll see if Patrick has any of that big weakness here. But we'll find out after we go over the list with that, and then Star Deck 21, which is just a nice, great starter for honestly new players. You get the idea of fast decks, you get to understand the basic math, you get to look into the basics of the rules, playing characters on curve, constantly throwing face, don't have to think very much, but at least I can understand and learn the fundamentals as I get stronger, then find out what my archetype might be. Profusa says, I play red, so I'm just going to slam my head into the wall, hoping the wall breaks. Honestly, Profusa, that is a very accurate statement. I also play red a lot. It's very fast. It makes it easy so I can manage the stream and play my games very quickly. But also, I really enjoy like just some of the red leaders out there. You got some big beaters. I'm throwing the big beaters in your face. And sometimes I don't want you getting a 10 on. I don't want you playing your big combo pieces. I just want to get this game over with. And we're going to find out. Do I win? Do you win? Let's find out real quick. With that, let's get into this matchup and check out these deck lists. All right, starting off with Yamato Black here. This one is the deck that loves to swing. This thing is absolutely fantastic. 5 life leader here. Anything you return from the trash, so long as it's land on 1-0, has rush. So what does that mean? We're going to have a massive amount of swings from this deck. Obviously, the deck leans pretty heavy on getting the 6 cost out because this is the enabler and the one that gets the engine started. You get this one, draw discard on play, sack this thing, get yourself an 8 cost Yamato from the yard. That starts our first swing. If this thing came back from the yard, you can swing for the 5, then sack it and swing with one of the 8s. You got an unblockable version of it, and you have one that plays some characters for free. It also gets the 6 cost back in the hand to get the cycle started next turn if you only have 1 copy of the Yamato. It has the ability to play at 2 costs or less, so you can get some pieces like the Shinobu and Mononosuke combo set up. You can get your cards like a nice little Monkey Luffy that makes a card unblockable. You can get some searching on if you want to. There's also options for blockers that are at the 2 cost range if you want to play that version of the deck. There's a lot of different things you can get for 2 costs in this deck immediately back to the field here. So don't sleep on this free play character stuff. Rebecca is one of the options that some of the decks have been playing. I'm not a big fan with this one, but some people enjoy it. I'll let them play it. That's their deck. This one does get the 3 costs from your deck rested here, so you can kind of play around it. A 0 cost blocker doesn't have a whole lot of value here. This really felt a lot stronger, honestly, in the Gecko Moria type decks and those other builds here, where there was some significant like cost reduction and combos that you could pull off here. This one, in reality, is just playing out a searcher or something, and maybe having a body. You have a searcher with Kinemon to make sure you get the trash full with this, along with the Nami and a Nico Robin, just a nice little draw engine that pseudo gets that. We got a blocker with Kazuki Odin, which is all right. This deck doesn't do defense well, but if it needs to do defense, here's an option. Also, you can play on a certain curve here to get a body out if you need to. And get that engine, or kind of get that trash a little bit full, because as I said, this deck's #1 priority is getting this Yamato on curve and getting the swings in. This deck wins when it maximizes the amount of swings you could possibly have. Having something that returns a Yamato like this Mononosuke that will return this to the field. You get this thing for the trash, you swing for 5, you swing for 5 with leader, you trash it, you get 8. If you have some other 8s, you start swinging with the 8s. The 8s, and especially with the unblockable one, can get the 6 cost back, so it kind of makes it resilient to removal. They remove this, fine, that's cute. I'll get this one back and I'll just do it again to you. It really kind of dissuades people from even swinging into it, let's be honest, because all you're doing is just giving your opponent an additional swing. We have the event that gets the engine going, and of course you have Mononosuke. Mononosuke on play gets the Yamato back, can get those swings back. You can also use the Shinobu and Mononosuke combo with sacking both these cards, drawing a card, dropping the 9 cost out to the field, so long as you have Tendon. Get the 9 cost to the field, then get you the 6 cost back. 6 cost comes in for a swing, 8 cost comes in swing. You guys are noticing a pattern. This deck loves to swing 5 and 6s. The biggest weakness of this deck, allocation of Dawn, is near impossible. It is so hard to allocate Dawn in this deck because most turns you're being very, very Dawn efficient with your turns, trying to get everything out and play all the cards you possibly can to get the trash out there. So one of the things that this deck desperately struggles against is a leader that can be 6, 7, or even 8K. Any leader that can be 8, 7, all the way from 6 to 8 for the whole turn is going to eliminate a lot of the attacks that this deck can offer. And then when you're shutting off 3 of the different attacks, especially at 7, you can kill the Mononosuke swing, you can kill the Yamato swing, the leader swing. There's a lot of things you can turn off with your leader being at 7. It leaves you only with the Yamato swings, and given that you have to swing 8 with no allocated Dawn, a 2K counter from a 7 from an 8K swing, not hard to do. Not hard to do. But if this leader can get to the point where the other leader is at 5K and they have the engine, they're going to swing you out of game almost every single time. Can't Stop Game says, is Humbro sharing his meta killer sauce? Essentially, yeah. Like, if you want to know how to beat this deck, add the cards that buff your character. The reason Blue Yellow Nami was doing so well is because every turn it could go to 7, and it's a very rough matchup for this deck. Very, very difficult to get into. It doesn't have double damage. It doesn't have banish. It doesn't have capability of outpacing the life gain. Can swing a lot, but if you don't have the Dawn, it's not much of a threat. This deck's going up against a new deck here now. I want everyone at home to remember, this is a new player. There are some critiques that I know you have out there. You're going to look at there and say, this doesn't seem like it works right. And you're probably right. And this is no offense against Patrick. Patrick is a brand new player. We have all been that player. We've all had that situation. So I want you at home to use this with a grain of salt, help him make a better deck as he's trying to evolve himself in this game, and play with the baseline of cards that he has available to him. So right out the gate, Thousand Sunny, fantastic ad. Maki Luffy, fantastic. I like the Rusher Luffy, really good. Sanji, fantastic. Nearly all these cards are going to be free drops. So Sanji, nearly all. A few that are just outside of range. So you have plenty of things you can drop with the Sanji to get some extra board white strange. This Monkey D. Luffy, while great, not great in a deck with this limited amount of events. I'm not a big fan of only having 8 events to make sure that you get the 2 event reveal to really power this one up. Is it the end of the world? No, it's not. But if you really want to make this deck go wide, you want it to be powerful, you're going to need a higher ratio of event cards. The event cards chosen, not the greatest, not the worst. Bad Manners Kick Course, obviously always good when you have a lot of non-counter. But if you look at this deck, I don't see a lot of non-counter. I mean, obviously the Sunnies can replace themselves. That's not a big deal. This is a non-counter and this is a non-counter. Outside of the 2 Luffys here, most of this deck has counter. You really want to play Bad Manners Kick Course in decks where you're heavy on not having 2Ks and other kind of counter. This deck has a healthy amount of 2Ks. It has a lot of healthy amount of 1Ks and capability of like getting the combos going. So is this the greatest in this option? Not entirely. I would say his 2K, actually looking at this critically here, 2K count is a bit light. Actually, does he even have a 2K? I'm getting scared here. Getting a little scared here. Oh, okay. So another critique, you need at least 8 to 12 2Ks. Now, obviously there's wiggle room. Obviously there's ways to get around it. But 2Ks are pretty essential for this matchup because they definitely don't want to be trying to counter out discarding 2 cards to get out of a 6K swing. That is a huge tell in this game. Discarding 2 1s to get out of a 6K swing really lets your opponent know you're not playing with a lot of counter. Because nobody discards 2 1Ks so they can just discard a 2K instead. The math gets real simple when someone does that. So another critique I'd have this deck, definitely add some 2Ks. I like that he has enablers. I like that he has some searchers. Definitely has the capability of going wide here, but is definitely a glass cannon, given this isn't even a defensive card here. This individual is going to be going face or going home. All right, we'll see if Patrick can do it. He needs to. He needs to get underneath the deck. If Patrick's going to win, he's got to get underneath Sea-Dog. Sea-Dog's going to try and take advantage of the fact that there is no bonus enabler, nothing to make this leader a 7K for turn, so nothing in threat range there. Patrick's going to need a good start. Let's see if we can get 2 1-drops, get some searches, maybe get the Sunny out to get this engine. Good start here with the Nami search. Hopefully pick up, there's 1,000 Sunny there. Really good start here. That, if he doesn't have it, should be the pick here. Get that 1,000 Sunny out there. Allow him to make sure that this leader is going to be active and ready to go, because with one given Dawn can get 2 rested Dawn to any character or leader. Didn't see the search. Bomb decking the rest. Okay, interesting. Would have liked to have seen the Sunny here to make sure Patrick's engine was all cylinders here. But Sea-Dog on the play here, going to go out for that. Oh, that wasn't on the deck list. This one's a nice little blocker. This is a nice ad here. I like this one. This was around, I believe, when they brought out the idea for the 5 Elders deck and putting this out. But it is a really good synergistic deck in the fact that it is a blocker and draws 2s and discards 2, which is exactly what this deck wants. It wants to get that trash heavy with those Yamatos. And Sea-Dog already discarding 2 of those Yamatos a yard is looking pretty healthy. Back to Patrick's turn, 4 Dawn turn here. On the take from the leader swing here, but we'll see if we can put up some kind of offense here. Good opportunity to maybe get out the Luffy if we have 2 events to kind of play a character out for free. Maybe get out some other enabler cards like the Brooks or some of the other 1 costs here. Patrick definitely going to be thinking this thing through. Again, this is only his 4th ever matchup here. We've all been in that situation. Pressure's probably on, given he is having to be on camera for this here. But looks like Tony Chopper Blocker is the answer for the turn. Not terrible, but we are going to get the rest of Dawn here. And 6K to life. Sea-Dog on the take, 4-4. Imagine that's going to be it. Panel says, good lord, I can't find the reliable purple Katakuri list. Everyone plays it so differently. Honestly, Panel, it's just on to your playstyle. It's very, very difficult to get everyone the way they build it, because there's so many people that play blocker heavy, some that play like aggro heavy. There's a lot of different directions you can take the purple Katakuri deck. I've had quite a few. I posted about 4 on my Patreon account here. I've seen several different methodologies that you can play. And I recommend to you, find out what your playstyle is and play to your strengths. All right, Sea-Dog not looking pretty strong here. This is a 5 Dawn turn, so we don't have our start engine yet here. Which is why this deck does not do very good on the play. You definitely want to win the die roll. But it looks like Sea-Dog's looking for that 6 cost, and I do not see it in hand yet. It's got a healthy trash, but I don't see the 6 cost yet, so Sea-Dog's going to be playing a little bit behind if she can't get this thing on. Patrick with the block. On a 7K swing, back to Patrick for a 6 Dawn turn. Arcs Gaming says, kata lists are very vibe-based. It feels like, yeah, it really is. Yes, Arcs. Because there's so many different builds, the purple Lin content that you can get from there's a lot of life gain combos you can go into if you want to play life gain heavy. And some late game if you really want to play heavy on the late game. There's some ramp builds out there that are pretty interesting, that ramp out pretty fast to get to the top end. All right, looks like Sanji's a play here. Let's see what the free play is for Patrick. Patrick kind of going on a step order here. Should be playing a free card if we got one. Most of Patrick deck does have a free character play here. Draw a card, play a character, bad manners off the top. That's not playable. Nope, just one, Patrick. Just one. See if he has a card to play here. Playing a little out of sync here. You activate the leader ability to get the arrested. Out, there we go. Luffy, this one, if he just drew one bad manners kick course. If he has two, we can play another character for free. We'll see if he follows it up. That'd be a crazy turn for Patrick here. He is showing some events here. That's two. Bad manners and the one cost Gum Gum. So we are going to get another play here. We'll see what Patrick comes out with. Brook the play here. All right. More enablers for this deck. All the rest of Dawn goes to everybody. Brook's on play. Going to get resolved here. And Patrick, just like that, in one turn, drops 3 different characters, really showcasing the power of this low-to-the-ground deck. Five to life. Sea Dog on the take. Still looking for that 6 cost. 7 to life. Sea Dog uses the block. Not going to have to worry about too many other attacks here, so it's probably going to be passing back, but Sea Dog really needs to see that 6 cost Yamato if she's going to get back in this game with some massive swings. Got plenty of targets in the trash. Good way to start getting started. No blockers for Patrick here, so defense is kind of low. Nami to play here off the top. If we don't have it, that could be an answer to search for it. And it looks like that's what we're doing. Nami for the search. Of course, looking for that 6 cost. There it is. Altar 6 off right at the top. 2 Altars off the top here. Luckily, these do go to the trash. So we do have our engine. Sea Dog going to drop it about immediately here. Drops, draw for discard. Off from the Yamato. Ground Death the pole here. Not a good defensive yet, but still. Get 8 costs to the yard. Should get a leader swing and an 8 cost, or yeah, one of the 8 cost Yamatos in the face. Good call at this stage. If we don't have a blocker to get back from trash, I would definitely go for the unblockable. Very resilient. Dissuades your opponent from going for board. And puts your opponent on the offensive, so you don't have to worry about them having to worry put up a bunch of blockers for next turn. Looks like Sea Dog going board here. Trying to hit the Sanji. Good call. Try to get rid of the swings as much as possible here. Looks like Brook. Okay, Sea Dog valuing the swings here, passing the turn. I think it's actually a good call here for Sea Dog, not sacking it immediately, getting the value for the swing of the Yamato and the sack for an additional swing. I think Sea Dog realizes the way she's going to win this is by getting more swings than her opponent here, given she's going to be at the 9 Dawn turn next turn. 8 Dawn for Patrick. Really should just be going face. Nico robbing the play here. Got the rest of Dawn to play with here. Now we might be able to start giving some of that rest of Dawn with leader ability. Going on the Sanji. And all this giving Dawn here, this is getting a massive swing. Now I do recommend for you new players, look at me. You new players, don't do this. Never do this. I know that Patrick's new. He's never watched the channel before. He's never seen this thing, but I tell people every time I see this, never, ever, ever do this. Do not allocate all your Dawn before you get your swings in. 1, you're telecasting to your opponent the level of attacks that they're going to expect so they can block out sequentially and know how exactly when to use blocker or when not to. 2, you're enabling them to understand what that's going to happen. 3, there are decks with triggers that will rest characters, pop characters, will eliminate or do something to freeze the character. There are triggers in life that will absolutely destroy your turn. Once the Dawn is given, you cannot remove the Dawn. It is not rested Dawn, it is given Dawn. And once it is given, The only thing you could do with this is minus it with the Dawn minus abilities. So given that he's given Patrick here is given the Dawn here, if for any reason Black doesn't have it, but if they did, any reason had something from life to say I'm gonna pop a 4 cost from life here, this swing is immediately negated. Do not set yourself up for failure. You're giving away too much information. I know it feels good because you get it all that out of your head and you're like, oh, I don't have to think about this anymore. I got it done. Cool. That's great. It's great. But you're setting yourself up for failure. Don't allocate Dawn until you're ready for the swing. All right, Patrick on the swing. We'll see if Sea Dog counters out. Yep, there's a counter for Sea Dog. Patrick, climb the ladder. Should be going leader next. Nope, swinging big with that one. Gets the block. Leader for 6. Needs a 2K. Sea Dog on the take. Another Yamato from life. Very good start here. We'll see if Sea Dog can get the Yamato combo here at 9 Dawn. Could see the Mononosuke Shinobu combo that could get the most amount of swings for this. Could also use an event to get a very, very big offensive swing here. Patrick, as we know, very light on counter here. And it looks like Sea Dog's going just for the Yamato play here. Tap in 6. Draw discard. Gonna get at least 4 swings this turn. Discarding an 8 cost here. We'll see if Sea Dog prioritizes board here. Couldn't go for the Mononosuke play for the maximum amount of swings, but play with what you got. Sea Dog looks like they're talking about the board state here, and it looks like that's exactly where Sea Dog is going to prioritize. Yeah, I guess coming back here, I don't know why that came back. Guess some kind of miscommunication here. All right, the fresh new Yamato is probably going to get sacked here. So Sea Dog explained exactly how this Yamato leader works. Now, obviously, we at home know that the one on the left over there was the new one, but I'm sure Sea Dog is just communicating this differently. Still should have a swing with this. Hopefully not a play mistake here. 8 costs unblockable. No, interesting. Sea Dog, you saved it for the attack, but you immediately sacked. What are you doing? Interesting. Sea Dog, I guess, being nice to Patrick here. This was a turn where you could really go hard with these attacks here. All right, 4K going into Imagine the Sanji. Nope, going into the Luffy. 4-4. It's like we're getting to the block. And I think Sea Dog's basically saying you can block and counter out if you want to, since Patrick really hasn't countered out much. Refuser says Luffy is 6 if he has 2 given Dawn. That's what I thought too. I mean, I was looking at this because I played Rayleigh and I was like, I'm pretty sure he gets a bonus. Yeah, it is a 6K. Yeah, this is on Patrick to not recognize that this swing isn't even a legal swing. Okay, just making sure this is a legal target here. So realistically, this swing should be going towards the Sanji. Play the chopper. Oh, yes, you're right. We're making Tony Chopper cry, Refuser, you're right. Bad swing in there. And shouldn't need to counter out. Here comes an unblockable. Oh, God. Stop. Oh, no, I can't get it off. What is going on with my stream deck? Bob64, thank you for the exclamation point join. Good to see you. It wouldn't go away. 2 swings with the unblockable. Looks like we got some connects. Now on Patrick. This is going to be a turn where I believe he needs to go for game if he's going to go for it at all. 1 open for Sea-Dog means we probably have a ground death in hand. Plenty of trash to get the plus 4K, but if I'm Sea-Dog, I need to survive this turn. He says Sea-Dog misplaying against a new player. Shame, shame. I think Sea-Dog was just being nice. Sea-Dog's won a lot of these events before, too, so I know she's smart enough for this. Looks like Monkey D. Luffy 7 costs to play here. Get that extra Dawn allocation. Can get 2 more to give this one rush. It means Luffy's at... I like this play. We got a 5, a 6, a 9, and a 6K lead swing. Sea-Dog's going to have some tough times getting out of this one. We'll see where Patrick sends it. But Patrick definitely on a do-or-die turn. If he's not able to end this game now, Sea-Dog is just not going to be able to come back. Here, and Sea-Dog trying to get the counters to help keep track of what the attack power is, all the characters here. Looks like we're getting a massive minus. If I'm Patrick, don't go board here. Don't go board here. Nico Robin. Oh, I guess this is a free swing because there wasn't any Dawn to allocate. Sea-Dog, let it go. Get an additional swing. Get the 6 cost back. I know it's a free swing, but I don't like giving my opponent an additional swing and an additional card draw, too. It's just a cycle, but you could easily replace a 1 with a 2 or a 0 with 2 or a 1. Here comes 5K into life, looking for 1. We know Sea-Dog. Okay, Sea-Dog on the take. Interesting. 10 into life here. Could use a ground death here. Ground death and a 2. Just a 9. Sorry, ground death and a 1. Looking at the card, yep. Monosuke the play here. Have a 6K swing left for Patrick if he can remember this Luffy's bonus. I think Patrick might have forgotten. There is plenty of Dawn allocation. We still have leader swing left here too. Oh gosh. I think Patrick forgot. Yeah, Patrick definitely forgot. Had leader swing, had a 6K swing with Monkey Luffy. Patrick, read your cards. It's so important to read your cards. This is why I recommend everybody, if you've never seen the card before, read the cards. RTFC is an acronym of heavy, heavy importance in the card game world. And those that don't know, read the F card. This is family friendly. We don't swear. All right, another Yamato play here. So we're going to get some massive swings here. If Sea-Dog can just get these swings out in the open here. Only 1 life, no blockers from Patrick. Very low counters here. Patrick, 5-5, looks for 1. Gets a block. Okay, that is an option. The other unblockables. Here comes 5-5, looking for 1. Patrick gives it up. AK unblockable. All right, can discard a card an additional 1. Needs to discard 2 additional cards. 0 cost. Discarding. Yeah. Sea-Dog trying to help Patrick out here. You do have to discard additional card to get the plus 3K. And then additional card. So Patrick needs to discard 2 more cards here. Okay, Sonny the discard for the there. We're 8 to 8. One more card. Yep, Sanji the play. There we go. All right, Yamato sacrifice. Gonna get into another 8-cost Yamato. Sacrifice, get another 8-cost Yamato. All these unblockables, kind of unnecessary. 8k to life. Yep, confirming it is going life here. Bad manners isn't for the turn. Just for the battle. Okay. Discard one more card. Okay, event card needs one more. To get out of the swing. But if this is it for Patrick's hand, this could be game. Load up on the Nami swing. No, he doesn't have enough. AK swing. AK swing. Patrick should have enough with the card gained here. No. It's looking like he can discard to get up to 8, then 9 for that swing. But then as soon as he Sea-Dog loads up the Nami swing, it's over. And I think that's what she's discussing. While not turning the thing sideways here, there was an option of discarding the 0 cost. And I do this mostly for the benefit of Patrick here, guys. Where was that? I could have swore he just showed his hand. Where's that? I can't find it, regardless. You guys know what I'm talking about. So there was a way that he could counter out of that by discarding the card, the Sunny, the 1000 Sunny with the Bad Banners Kick Course and the 1k Nico Robin hand to get out of there. However, we all know he didn't have any counter for the other swing here, so the Nami would have come in for the lighter swing and would have ended the game there. Patrick is a brand new player. Do not expect the most out of brand new players. You have been a brand new player before. Be respectful. I understand there's going to be mistakes being made. That's why we do this. We hope that Patrick sees this video, gets better from it, learns from his mistakes, and learns to read his cards. It is something that you at home can do the best thing about, is learn from other people's mistakes. Seriously, the strongest thing you can do as a player is learn from other people. Check it out. We do have one other game after this one. This is going to be a heater. We got Xander versus Porter, two of our best of the best at Lifelink games going head to head in this next matchup. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to show you guys these deck lists. And this is going to be your last chance to get 1 or 2 free packs we're giving away at the end of the stream. Like I said in my announcement to everybody, I bought 4 packs from Lifelink. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to buy these. I got 4 packs from Lifelink. 1 for this today, 1 for Wednesday. We don't know what the hit ratio is. We don't know what's left. It could be anything tonight. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be a great night. 1 game and pack giveaway. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Humble Pie. I'm your host, Jimmy D, and this is it, the third and final round for tonight, guys. This is going to be it. I'm, of course, going to be recording the games tomorrow to go live again on Wednesday, where we're going to give away 2 other packs. This will be the last one we'll be giving away for a long time of these OP16 packs, because next set and our community box is going to be OP17. So stay tuned. If you haven't followed me yet, please do so. It goes a long way if you guys want to help me get subscribed on YouTube as well to help me get up there. I had the milestone away by 25 subscribers to getting paid, and then they raised the bar last minute on me, and now I'm 525 views away from getting paid, and I somehow need to come up with some shorts, and the road to getting paid in YouTube has just gotten more and more complicated. So if you're out there, Humble Pie OP, please subscribe to the channel, help me get up there, help me get those numbers up, and go live, because if you get those notifications when we do, we got that. Thank you so much for the subscription, Xander. Awesome. And just in time, also Xander is going to be on camera here for our final match of the day. We've got 2 Titans here. Xander, who took down the championship last season, who's now going to try and do a repeat this season here, and also a player who's going to be playing in the Flame Frame through, so trying out his best with what he thinks is going to be one of the stronger decks right now with Katakuri. I know Pano's out there going to be a little bit excited, because he was also talking about the different Katakuri builds, and that's what we're going to talk about here in just a minute. Before we get in there, just want to remind everybody, ! Join right now. Get your chance to win these packs, because this is going to be it. We're going to be giving away our last 4. The ratios, I don't know. They're random from the box. It could be all hits tonight. Let's hope. That'd be awesome. I want to give away some hits. It could be anything. We're looking forward to it. Popping out the notepad. It absolutely should do, Pano, because here we go. We're going to start teaching first about the Turtle Luffy, and then Katakuri. Starting off with Porter's build here. This is the second time we've had this luxury of having this version on the camera here. This is one of the stronger decks that got powered up with the red starter deck that is starter deck 21 and now starter deck 31. It was just the same leader with new cards. Of course, that new card being that Monkey D. Luffy card that everyone is just putting in these red decks for a good reason. This on play is insane, and a Straw Hat deck reduces the power for up to potentially 7k in this deck, given our leader is Straw Hat type. And we do have the Sunny Stage. So 7k potential reduction on play, and all we need is 3 Given Dawn to get this 9k body a nice little swing. 7k reduction on anything on the board, it makes everything a viable target for attacking here. And this deck has some of the best options to counter what is really popular in today's meta. First, starting off with the double attack, something I've been recommending for everyone for the 16 format because of how much life gain, and trust me, with Linlin right around the corner, this is not going to change. Linlin's all that life gain, you're going to need cards in your deck that have something with double attack. If you're playing red, play the Whitebeard. If you're playing green, you play this Luffy. If you're playing any other colors, look for cards that have double attack. You need things that do 2 damage to your opponent to overcome the massive amount of life gain these decks have. One of the things they can't do is counter very well from hand. One of the things they can do is out life gain you out of the game and beat you down with the top end. So if you want to avoid that strategy, be sure to add something in your deck with double attack. I like the idea of Banish for Big Mom. Absolutely, Banish is another very powerful. It's always what a secondary would I give you to. If you're going to go against yellow, Banish is also the counter that you need. And green deck is going to be playing the Smoker to get that Banish. It's going to be playing some of the other power cards to get that Banish. A lot. The new Ben Beckman, I believe, has Banish as well. You're going to want to have something that can just automatically trash that life, get rid of the trigger, get rid of it. I know that a lot of these yellow decks have trigger. I know a lot of these things have threats. There are ways you can sequence your attacks to avoid the most detrimental of the triggers that people can play. But given that we know that Big Mom is going to be a huge threat in this next meta, you're going to want to have answers in your deck if you're not playing Big Mom. So, on play, if your leader is multicolored, which this is, you can set 4 of your Dawn cards as active, which is perfect because it enables this turtle deck. Basically, Dawn times 1 underneath this on your opponent's attack. If you have 5 or less Dawn active, you can use any of them for a 2k counter. With 5 open Dawn, you have 10k counter just from Dawn alone. And when you're playing green, the restands are crazy. You get the restands with Nami, get a blocker, and get to restand 5 of your Dawn here. Yasanji, that has the end turn to restand. On play gets to set 2, and at the end turn, if your leader Straw Hat type, set to 1 of your Dawn cards is active. You've got the Usopp that has a Film of Straw Hat, set 2 of your Dawn at the end step, so we have a way to get 3 of them back just with the bodies in the field. Brook, that gives us an ability for an extra attack if we want to. Very good game ender with this one. Was really good in Brook, but it sadly just sees more play in the other green deck Straw Hat builds because it's just a really good card to give your attacker, like maybe like Boa in the Goofy deck, a nice additional swing for unblockable. One of the power cards that you need for this current format, especially with Yamato running rampant here, is the On Play plus 2K that you get from Mordor Zoro. This is an absolute staple for any red deck here, and it's going to be very, very, very important going into the next stage as we go into power creep. A lot of these cards can be playing with the 8K swings and constant 8K swings. You're going to want to have your leader at 7 to make those counters a lot easier. On top of that, can really negate that black Luffy deck that likes to power all those little weenies in the 5K swings. One of the same weaknesses with the Monkey D. Luffy is the same weakness as the Yamato. That doesn't allocate Dawn very well. It utilizes most of it to play cards and advance its board state. It doesn't have a lot to allocate. You can put your leader at 7K. You can avoid a lot of those little weenie swings and prevent your opponent from putting any kind of pressure on you. And being able to pull it out as early as turn 7 is absolutely devastating. Rush character, sometimes situationally pretty good. I like it. It does put in some pressure, but let's be real. What we're playing this card for is plus 2K, and there's a reason this thing's still at like 15 bucks. We've got other cards in the deck for searching to make sure, like the best searcher with Garp here, Nami Searcher, Laboon for the protection to make sure you do need this, especially going forward in the next format. Most cards are going to be playing a lot of the 2-for-1 cards for removal. So if you're not playing cards that have some anti-removal on them, you're wrong. I'm sorry. Start putting some anti-removal in it. There's a lot of cards, especially in green. We've always had to worry about the blue bottom decking too. With the goofy decks, they're still going to see some play, very likely in the Rocks deck, as like a couple of, just because why not? And of course, a lot of those characters do have a lot of bottom decking 1 or 2 cards in them as well. So you're going to want to make sure that you're playing in this very heavy removal format that we're bound to come into in OP17 as soon as it comes around the corner. When this starts becoming a staple card, people will tend to move away from playing the removal cards because they'll feel like they're dead cards. At that point, that's when you take advantage of it and you start playing you don't have to play these cards anymore, and you can start exploiting the weakness by putting more of those removal cards back in the deck. Trust me, I've seen it happen multiple times in waves with this game. I can't tell you how many times I've seen with Emu out where it just kind of dissuaded everyone from playing removal at all, so they stopped playing it altogether. And then after a while, when Emu stopped seeing so much fan favorite, people started to add the removal into the game, and it was actually the game changer that made it different for them to be able to take some easy wins from other opponents. About that, some of the best pseudo removal, if anything, it's just a pseudo stall, is going to be in green. And why? Because green has some of the best lockers in the game right now. Some of the stuff that can't be countered to this date yet is freeze effects. All your rested 7 costs can't be reactivated next turn. Electrical Luna is still going to be good in Shanks, still going to be good in other green decks out there. It is an all-out board freeze. I will end the game next turn. Charlatan, really only good in this deck because it does restand 3 Dawn after the 4K counter, which makes you get an additional 6K in free counter. Super strong in this deck, especially even with the trigger. We got Deadman, the Demon Aura here to kind of like Hody Jones yourself and make sure you can swing in for game. It is a 3K counter if you need it in a pinch, but let's be real, this thing's also going to be used to rest one of your opponent's Dawn or rest 2 of their blockers and go in for game. And of course, the other option, if you're not playing Electric Luna, is you can play I Know You're Strong. This one rests up to 2 of your opponent's characters with 7 costs or less can't become active, so long as you rest 3 Dawn total, which is not bad. Most of the time, that's really all you're really going to need to do is freeze 2 characters, but honestly, in the right pinch, Electrical Luna can absolutely steal games away from your opponent, and will still be relevant in the next format to come. Now on to Katakuri. So we were talking about this a little bit in the last matchup here while we were watching that beginner's match. This Charlotte Katakuri got a massive power upgrade with the new starter deck that came out, mostly with the 10 cost Big Mom. And with that, this is one of the decks that people have found them leaning to because it has a lot of power that was kind of added into the purple side of the Charlotte Linlane or Big Mom Pirates package here. This one sneakily has a very, very good effect, especially for those players that like to keep track of what your opponent's playing with, the kind of counter they could have, or what's going on. Because this one, Dawn -1, look at the top card of your opponent's deck, then your leader gets plus 1K during this battle. I wish it was for turn, honestly. I wish there was more to it, but sure. Because it is on your opponent's attack as well. You get to get a free 1K counter by looking at the top card of their deck. But by looking at the top of their deck, not only do you get advanced knowledge of what they could be playing, but you can get a decent idea on how much counter they have in the late game, so long as you're keeping track of what's being pitched and discarded and what's being played versus what you haven't seen at that point here. Knowledge is power. Power is winning if you can do it right. And I think that's why people are kind of leaning on this. Now, there are other cards in this deck that do synergize by knowing what card's on top. My favorite of this is just the knowledge that you gain from this powerful ability here. This one really playing heavy on the top Katakuri here. I think While sadly only playing 2 copies of this sack to get a Katakuri, it's playing big on the mid to late game here, with the early game kind of just like stalling and slowing your opponent down type of strategy here. So with this version, we do have the 2 costs that can sack itself in to get in the 5 cost or the 6 cost. Doesn't have the 6 for ramp, which is kind of surprising to see, but does have, interesting, the decent 2K counter stats, I guess. We do have the Charlotte put in here, Dawn -2 if your leader has a Big Mom Pirates type character. And your opponent has 6 or more Dawn cards on the field. Draw 2 cards and play 1 Big Mom character with 6,000 to 8,000 power from your hand. So I guess it's a body that can be played out with the Charlotte Pudding. That is an option. It's additional package. I mean, we get the Charlotte Katakuri here. We can get the Charlotte Katakuri here. Again, the 6 cost Katakuri could have been played from this. So I still feel like going the Katakuri package personally is my favorite. You go to 4 of these. That way you can sack to get into the multiple different Katakuris depending on what you have. Because it does come, I believe, from trash as well, if I'm not mistaken. 3 costs or more equal to or less the number of Dawn cards in your opponent's field. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different options, and you can ramp with it as well to get past the Dawn minus. I'm a big fan of that, but I mean, 2K is 2K. Ars Gamer says, I like this list. It's very straightforward. Yeah. Xander says, guarantee that something can always be played. That's fair enough. I mean, obviously, the creator here, Xander, thankfully in the chat here. So if you do have questions about what he's doing, this is your thing. And obviously, everything is an option. My choices aren't always the going to be the best, and I'm not going to pretend like I have the ultimate list for you all. This is just towards my play style. I personally think it's really good being able to sack this 2 cost into some bigger bodies, so long as it's in the late game. But it's in your playstyle. There's a lot of things to help you go wide with this. That's why a lot of people are playing the 7 cost Pudding here. We have some amazing capabilities. This Charlotte Katakuri blocker here is probably by far the strongest card in the deck and it's been around for a while. It was so good, it was banned in Blue-Purple Luffy. But this one's going to be able to protect itself to make sure the blocker can swing and play a defense. And on top of that, protect its most powerful card, the new Charlotte Linlin. Dawn -4, you may trash 1 card from your hand, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards, and give any character in your opponent's field 0 base power. 0. Basically reducing anything to 0 and now making all of your little tiny weenies that got some early game searches threats on the board that can swing into these things and just get rid of it. Nothing is sadder than countering out of a 2K counter, or was even worse, a Charlotte Pudding swing for 0 into a 0 and having to play a 1K counter just to get out of that swing if you're trying to keep that character alive somehow. Nothing more embarrassing, trust me. Divine Departure for a nice little discard 3K, of course, and some pseudo removal. I love Mamaragan. As long as you're playing with less Dawn than your opponent, it's a really good card that just replaces itself for a simple 1K. Very good. Staple in most purple decks, has been fantastically played. We're going for the 1 piece for a nice little search. Slow Soul Beam has always been an epic card. It really throws your opponent off here. Up to 1 of your leader type characters gains plus 2,000 power, but the most important, rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters. This is another reason why we do not allocate Dawn before we finish swings. Allocate Dawn for the swing. Because if for any reason your opponent plays a Slow Beam, they're going to rest that character that you just allocated that Dawn, and there's nothing you can do about it. That Dawn is now locked underneath that character. Cards like this and triggers like this and things that do this stuff are exactly why we play and recommend people play based on the turn and the action for that turn. Never set up a turn with allocating all your Dawn to all your characters. Cards like this will just completely shut you out of the game. Conquest this season, new one. I like this one. Dawn -2 here. If your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates or Big Mom Pirates type, get up to 2 of your opponent's characters at 6 costs or less. I'm telling you guys, the 2-for-1s are real. The 2-for-1s are going to be something you're going to see quite a bit. There's a reason people are playing it. There's a reason it's going to be crazy during the limited event. These 2-for-1 cards here are absolute game stealers. You as a player, if you can't counter your opponent's 2-for-1 with another 2-for-1, 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose in that game. I say 9 times out of 10 because there are always outliers. There are ways to come back. Sometimes you can just get really lucky from life or really lucky with your draws. But if someone 2-for-1s you, it's a mountain to climb back into. This card is crazy. You're absolutely right, Pano. Getting to Xander says, my goal is to mulligan to 5-cost Katakuri or have searchers for him. Get to 5 Dawn, play the 5-cost Katakuri, then 7-cost Pudding, into 8-cost Katakuri, sometimes back to back. Then spam Limla and 10-cost Dawns. Yes, this is the end game finisher. This one's the strategy of like, I want to beat you down with my 10-cost here. And Xander says, slow beam is good to rest 10-cost Blackbeard, Whitebeard blocker, Law and Beppo, and they swing after playing their 10-cost. It is so gross. So gross. It is not limited by cost, so it will rest your biggest threat. And you got to be wary if your opponent has 2 open, what can come. Very, very solid deck list here. I did put the deck list in there. Again, if you want to use it, you're going to have to copy and paste the entirety of it. Don't click the link. You're going to have to copy and paste because for some reason, the colon on my drop links always seems to cut off. So if you want to use that, all links also in my Patreon down below. You can join as a free member and get access to all the deck lists for everything I show live on stream every single day, dated for you and archived, so you guys can find all the deck lists and even search my channel for any of the decks that you might want to look into to see what's been played on camera and what people are doing with their deck lists. One of these days, I'll turn it into a website. One of these days. For now, Porter Xander head-to-head in round 2 of what I wish I could have seen all 3 games. We sadly did not get the championship matchup here, but Porter on a very strong start, getting Sunny out on turn 1. And instantaneously grabbing Usopp to get part of the engine ready. We'll see if we can follow it up with another searcher. Resting to get the Dawn ×1. Nope, just going to protect itself from nothing. No, I guess Katakuri could swing in for, as we didn't see an opener search, sadly, for Xander. 8K, Porter on the take, and a pass back. Laboon the draw here. It could be good for protection here if Porter is concerned about that 6-cost coming down here. Nami the search to get things started here. Finally get some board state here. Looking for another one of our action pieces. Getting the 7-cost Rusher to hand. 3 Dawn open. Gonna get that rested on Luffy here. Going for 6, leave 3 open. All right, here we go. 6 in attack. We could easily activate leader ability if we want to. We're just gonna 2K. Not too good to use the leader ability very early in the game. Kind of sad because that Dawn minus is kind of detrimental, especially in the early stages. Late game is nothing. 5-cost Katakuri right off the top. Didn't even need the searcher. Here comes 5K to life. Porter gonna easily get a counter out of this. But Xander gonna take the opportunity to see the card. Obviously knew the attack wasn't gonna connect, but's gonna get the information. Smart play by Xander here. Anytime you can get information, grab it, guys. Even though it seems like a waste, information is power. Back to Porter. 6 Dawn turn. Imagine we're probably going to see the Usopp play here. Oh, no, tapping 6. We might see the 6-cost double attack Luffy. It is double attack Luffy out to the side, restanding 4 Dawn here. Activate stage to attach it to Luffy here. 8K encounter, 6K swing. Xander could easily activate again to get some more knowledge if he wants to. But does have to Dawn minus. Xander says, and the ramp 2 Dawn off the 5-cost Katakuri is extremely strong. You're right, that does help. Yep, everything in this deck does remove Dawn on his turn. So you're going to need to have some of that replacement effect with the 5-cost here. All right, looks like we're looking at possibly 8 Dawn here. Yep, 8 Dawn here. Beautiful Katakuri Dawn, too. No, that is the Katakuri Dawn from PRB. The man's eating donuts from inside the view from inside the gullet. If you have some, let Xander know. Looks like he needs just a couple more to finish the set. Sadly, Xander, I do not have any. Need 3 more Donut Dawn. I know that base Dawn is killing my OCD. I know, Pano. I know what you mean. But you got to do what you got to do, guys. Sometimes you just like I've seen people play with like 10 random different gold Dawn. That's theme enough, right? Xander looking like he's got a 5 and a 7. Oh, here we go. We're gonna attach a Dawn here. Can go in for some free information here. Porter again with AK and counter just in Dawn. So, oh, here we go. Gonna get rid of a character here that should be able to get rid of the Luffy. And Porter instantly punished here. Wait a minute, I thought that KO'd it. What'd I miss? And I used to play this card too. Divine Departure. Rest 5 of your cards. You may have cards given. Give 20 opponent's characters 8 minus 8,000 power during this turn. You're gonna rest it with Mamaragan? I guess if he has a Mamaragan, he can rest it here. Which would mean we got some, there it is. Mamaragan, the play here. It is at -1 power for those that don't know. There are negatives in the game of One Piece. So even though we got 8K counter from Porter here, yeah, smart call from Porter to let this one go. 2 swings with a 6 and a 7 are not going to be something you're going to want to use all your Dawn for. Palace says, big brain play. Absolutely agree. Did have to minus himself a bit for the Dawn for that play, but getting rid of the biggest threat on board, good play for Xander here. And keeping his Katakuri protected, which is very smart. You want to make sure that you do have something that can replace all that Dawn minusing. So very, very smart on Xander's part. The attack wasn't going to go through, never make it vulnerable. And Porter back to back with another double attack Luffy. Restand the 4, instantaneously playing the Usopp to get the 2 rested back at the end turn. 6K into life. Xander needs 2. He's got 2 open. Could play the slow beam to rest the Monkey Luffy. But gonna have to fight through 8K and Dawn here. Gets the restand 2 with the Usopp at the end step here. Xander now at the full 10 Dawn. And see, this is the one where if he had the slow beam and a 10 cost Mon to follow it up, it'd be a great power play here to get rid of that double attack Luffy. Now, mind you, we do have other plays with Xander to be able to play out a pudding, to cheat out a 8 cost Katakuri for a blocker to deal with this thing. It's looking like we're tapping. 6 for the double removal, and Porter punished for not playing the Laboon in hand. And just like that, Xander on the 2-for-1, taking the tempo in his favor. Now, both these attacks probably going to be negated by what the remaining Dawn are here, but Xander in a commanding lead here as Porter is just not able to establish any kind of board state. Imagine Xander's probably going to pass turn, maybe might go for some information since the Dawn minus is negligible at this point. He's just going to get it back. Can go in for a swing, get the information, poke out, and leave. Xander says, good thing about Katakuri, you can Divine Departure plus Mamaragan or Conquest the Seed mid-game multiple times and sit at 7 costs easily. And you can still spam 7 costs, putting 8 cost Katakuri if you're always in a good spot. Absolutely agree with you, Xander. Puppy Caro with the My Goat. Welcome back, Puppy. Good to see you. Going to gain the information. Clearly going to counter out here from Porter. And Porter going to have to take on this one, though. Not enough counter. So Porter down to 2. Xander doing a great job of pecking at this deck. The turtle deck is losing its defense. Dropping the Brule, getting to get a search. Likely looking for some kind of late game answer here. Maybe get one of the pudding combo plays here. 10 cost Big Mom. Porter going to have to be aware of that. But I don't think that's going to be next turn of play here, as Porter doesn't have much on the rush side of this red deck here. So Big Mom 0 base, kind of just more of a threat, if anything. Puppy Girl says, I was lurking earlier while I was gaming, but my child stole my phone. Oh, I'm so sorry, Puppy. Well, I'm glad to have you back. All right, gonna freeze the Katakuri with Electric Luna. Swinging 6. Porter really losing board state here. Xander with a way to get some information if he wants to. 1K counter. Just get 2K out of it. Dropping 4 for, I imagine, an Usopp. Yep, to get 2 more stood. This leaves him with 10K power and protection. And a pass back to Xander. Xander probably going to optimize the play of playing some pudding in a free character. Katakuri frozen for the moment. We'll see if maybe even a Charlotte Brule swing might be in our future. Bobby says, I had the game with 4 Katakuri blockers in the field. It was great. Yeah, I can imagine. You're restanding everything at the end of your turn and you got these 8K swings. It's a pretty powerful board. That's what makes this deck so good, puppy. All right, rest in 7. It looks like it's pudding time. Pudding 7 costs. What card do we have? Dawn -2 here. Drawing 2. And what do we got? Oh, add. Tell you what, I'll just make this the break time for Puppy Caro, who's sitting out there on the ad break. Let me know when you're back, puppy. This is a reminder to everybody, please hydrate. Oh, as much as you guys hate the ads, it's the only way I can make money on here. And what little I get kind of supplements the money I spend on getting packs for you guys for the giveaways. So, do apologize. It does suck. I hate ads just as much as you, and I usually pay to not get ads. And if I could get paid otherwise, I would 100% do that. Trust me, I would. YouTube gets free advertisement money on all the time. Waiting for my symbol to say the 20 seconds is almost up here. We will get started as soon as it. Pano, I hear you. It's all right. I'm pausing for both of you. Let me know when you are back. According to my screen, I have 7 seconds left in ads. Yep, and you're back. All right, welcome back, and we're back here. You didn't miss anything. As soon as I saw the comment from Puppy Caro, I paused appropriately. So hopefully you guys didn't miss anything here. Absolutely, Pano. All you guys got to do is let me know. I'm not really always paying attention when the ads drop here, so if you guys let me know you're in one, I can easily pause for you all. Really got to come up with like some kind of like ad break. Like as soon as I see one, some like dissuasion to like turn you guys into ad break time. Unsa, unsa, unsa. Puppy, welcome. We paused it for you. Don't worry. Oh, here we go. This is. Did I read that card? I think I might have overlooked that card. Interesting. This is a new one. What did that just do? What did that just do? I did not read this card. When attacking, down -1, KO 20 your opponent's characters. Oh, okay, so it's one of the weenie killers. All right, well, Nami's not going to be too long for this world here. Not a bad play. Like seeing Peckham's in a deck here, so a very good tech against the Goofy, of course. It's a very good tech list. Puppy Caro, I do try to set up every single time I go on break. I do try to put up the ads and throw those up there, but Twitch has this thing about trying to push things every 30 minutes. Ars Gaming says, I know that there's a bot command to some streaming service that does automatic ad break announcements. I need to get that bot. If you know what it is, please let me know. Xander says you can kill any 2K power and attacking either card. So if you can play it before Big Mom, then Big Mom. Oh, that's a good point. And we know we got the Big Mom in hand. That's going to be a great turn for Xander here. Is going to have the opportunity to just KO. That's a great combo card. I like that. Xander, I don't even want to see that. Yeah, Pano, that's the same. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. I was like, oh, this is good against the Goofy. Okay. No, that's a great combo. You could have 10 on and counter. I don't care. I'm KOing that bad boy. Thanks, Arx Gaming. I appreciate it. All right. The 7 drop Ronor Zoro. Some kind of board state here has been developed here. And now I don't think this Zoro is going to be long for this world. We are at 10 Dawn. We can easily replace the Brule for the Big Mom. That looks like it's going to be the play. And again, Porter being punished for not playing this Laboon. Could easily afford 1 Dawn to play this Laboon. But it's getting... Oh, did he use it already for counter? I know he saw it as a draw card here. Yeah, Xander on the removal. And Zoro on the hit here. Remember, you do not have to match the power of the leader to swing. You can swing anytime you want to. That is going to pop that away. And again, Porter getting punished for not having played that Laboon he drew in the early game. I don't know if he still has it, but I do know it was one of his early draws. Pano says, Xander, do you think if he had played the Laboons in the time, he could have turned it in his favor? That's a good question. Xander, I'd like to know what your thoughts are on that. If he would have had the protection, would it have made you play a little bit differently? Would it have made a lot of cards in your hand dead? All right, another Nami. Porter looking for some kind of answer. Looks like we do have the Ronar Zoro. Yep, put right to the top here. So Porter again gonna power this leader up here, play on the defensive. Using stage to get the one attached. Of course, you want to, in good sequencing, do want to play out the Zoro first to get the plus 2k for leader swing. Ars Gamer says, okay, Stream Elements has an ad break. Okay, I'll look into that after this stream ends. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Xander says he would Mamaragan. Yes, actually, that's a really good point, Xander. If you do put out that 2-cost Mamaragan so we can swing into it. I don't know if Porter would have had enough Dawn to be able to defend it. Yeah, good point, Xander. All right, another search. Something Porter really loves doing in decks is just searching to get the right answers. Sanji the pole. Get some redundancy. We're going to have 3 restand Dawn here at the end step here. And 4 restand Dawn at the end here. With the double Sanji play here. Porter with a full board, trying to look like he could finally put in some work, has done absolutely nothing to Xander's board. 5 life still. He did get a hit in and the Big Mom healed it up, but looking like he did nothing. And finally, Laboon the play. Porter, tired of getting all his stuff removed, says, all right, Laboon, protect me. I cannot afford another 6 costs to remove my field again. Xander has it. He's only got 3 cards in hand. I don't know if I saw it or not. But Porter at least smart enough to remove the Peckhams off the field so he can't get the KO and swing. And Xander says, talking about the Laboon answer here, Laboon plays will basically put him down 1 Mamaragan, but he'll still be worth it. He still had at least 2 Mamaragans left for this game. Looks like we're getting an extra play here with the 8-cost Katakuri. The restands are in play to play Xander's defensive game. Are we going to get some swings in? Porter at 2 life, healthy hand, 8k and Dawn left. Pano says, I know there won't be a clear answer here, but I play Goofy right now, and it seems like I take a hit from OP17. Should I just sell it or start building Purple Katakuri, which fits more into my playstyle anyways? All right, I want to cast this game. So for YouTube, I'll cut this out to talk to you out and engage with you. Pano, I don't think the deck is dead. I think it needs to go mid game. I think right now, the deck is going to have a window of opportunity to come back once people start playing with those like low K counter killers, because everything in OP17 just says we need kill, we need kill, we need kill. There's going to be a lot of that in the early stages of OP17. Once people feel they don't need to add those weenie killers because no one's playing weenies to be killed, Luffy's going to have a chance to come back and insert itself and redominate for a couple of quick rounds until people have to reinsert those cards. It's kind of like a wave, right? There are cards out there that are trying to push the old format out, and it did a successful job. You had Emu not playing because you had the Enel. Enel stopped seeing play because, or I'm sorry, and there was other decks that didn't see because the Enel came out. Once Enel stopped seeing so much play because the Nami was doing so much work against it and kind of pressing it out of the game, and there was so much of the freeze effects that were happening to the Enel deck, people stopped playing the Enel. So then the cards that Enel were pushing, the decks that Enel was pushing out, resurfaced and became offensive decks. Emu became an actually really good deck. Green Blue Luffy is a very versatile deck, something that you can switch into mid game if you want to play it immediately. That's just up to you. But you are going to have to go mid game. You're going to have to play more of the top end with the Boas, more of the mid game with the Ivankovs, and more of the rest of the stuff where you're going to have to, you're still going to want to play the early stuff because you can't not play Bonclay, but you're going to want to replace a lot of the low cost stuff and have it replaced with the mid game stuff to help you really kind of keep that engine going. More of the buggies, more of the prisoners, more of that kind of stuff. If you could turn it into that and keep the board right, the deck's still going to be very powerful. That game ender for Goofy, still very, very strong. Only downside, Everything in this new set just says screw Goofy. So you either change the deck to mid-range or you wait patiently for when people change their decks to evolve with the meta and you slap them upside the head with Goofy. Xander says GU is very versatile deck. It can adapt well. Plus, the metas will shift and change once they start. So there's no way to know for sure. Goofy is a cheaper deck, so always worth holding on to unless you have the alts. It should still be decent. Top tier answer. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Penna. Appreciate you. Let's get back in the game. All right. So we're on Xander's turn here. Getting our first swing with the pudding. Get another swing with a 7K. 2 Dawn out of Porter here. Another Katakuri swing 7K. Porter's going to run out of Dawn here. He's going to have to start taking some hits. And this Katakuri looking to save some. Taking the 2. Now we're going to have that 12K swing. Nope, going leader first here. Dawn minus gets a look. Here comes 7. Good. Got the Searcher Nami off the top, so we know he's only going to have a 1K. Counter from hand here. Can still swing the 10 cost Big Mom to get that life hit. I 100% would if I'm Xander. Here it is, 12K. Yep, easy take for Porter. Katakuri just came into the field, cannot swing, but it can restand. So what are we going to protect? I imagine we're probably going to protect the Katakuri and Big Mom. 2 best engines for this deck here. No! Saying, Porter, do you want to invest some Dawn into the swing? I like this. I like this. Xander basically saying if you're going to want to swing in this Big Mom, you're going to have to allocate a lot of Dawn, and that might make for a great pseudo blocker for the turn. Laboon off the field. Now with the Rush Luffy, Laboon not getting much use. But like that, Big Mom's going to be put into the weak spot here. We got a total of 7. That is a 7 cost reduction. That means Big Mom at 5K. And I don't think Xander's going to be able to protect it. Panna with it says with another big brain play. Yeah, I like it. Xander says, yeah, with 7K bodies, it's a lot of Dawn to waste. Absolutely. So that one going to get rid of the Big Mom, but Xander's still in a very commanding lead with the 3 attacking characters possible. Here comes our first potential, our second potential take here. It's a take. Rush Luffy still optional. And Usopp, of course. Here comes Rush Luffy. This one probably going to be another take. Nope, going to get the block on the 2K. Porter protecting the Usopp to keep it stood, so it leaves that back here. Passes the turn back to 4 Dawn, so he's got 8K counter in Dawn. And Xander with 4 cards in hand. Let's see if we can answer the board state here. And Xander saying, yeah, I forgot about the Luffy. Yeah, the Luffy can put in some power. That's why we do. That's why it's played. But another 10 cost Mom basically erasing all the effort from Porter here. And I imagine this Rush Luffy is not going to be long for this world. Yep, not already locked out of here. Easy swing here. I imagine 7 into this Luffy, even with leader potential here. 5 into 0. Yep, Porter going to let it go. Saves all 5 of his Dawn. Excuse me. I thought he had 4 or 5 Dawn here. Needs 7K. 2 Dawn required for the defense. Gets it. Oh, nope. Just going to get a Dawn and a 1. And Xander realizes he can't punch any further, so decides not to. Big Mom can't swing and is going to make it vulnerable for the 8K swing, so decides best, since you can't swing in, to make your cards vulnerable. Very good choice on Xander's part here. It's the reason why that Katakuri restanding the cards is so powerful. Having 2 out just makes the game just near impossible for your opponent to get rid of him unless I can remove it. But Nami an answer here. Resting 2. Restanding 4. 8 and 8. Katakuri needs a 1. Xander low on hands here. He's going to have to let it go. 7 and a 7. Looking for 1. Xander letting it go. Still valuing the fact he's got 5 life, 5 cards to add to hand if Porter decides to get any more aggressive here. And still can back-to-back these Charlotte Linland attacks here. So 5 in a swing, just looking for 1. Activate leader ability to negate and get a free look. What do we got? Couldn't quite see. 6K to life, looking for 2. Xander on the take. Porter keeping the Usopp there protected to make sure he still has the restand ability. And back to Xander. Xander. Full 10 Dawn. Back like it was never gone in the first place. Linlin on a good attack here. 7k swing and leader. Has to get through 10k and Dawn counter. 1 life is all that's protecting Porter from this game. See as Xander goes in for some kind of attack here. Hasn't restood the leader yet here, but it hasn't swung yet. So this is still legal attack. Yep, restood. 10 Dawn. Do we have another 10 Con Big Mom to keep this up here? Nope. Going 9k swing. Gets 3 Dawn rested. Good number with that. Maximize the amount of resting Dawn. Mama Rog in the play. Altart that's going to rest the blocker here. Now Xander with an easy target to swing into if he wants to. Can allocate for 2 massive swings as well. Porter with limited cards in hand. One of them is a guaranteed brick. Looks like Electric Luna. 4k in Dawn. Another 9 swing from leader. Would still require Dawn from hand. 10k, maybe even 11k if we want to use leader ability. Could be lights out. We got 2, 3, no counter. That's a bricked up hand. 13. Mama Roggen. That's a 4k counter. All right. Oh man, that's a huge pull. Not Mama Roggen. What's that? That's the. Do we have enough? Or does the restand happen after the fact? Yeah, Charlton doesn't work that way. He's Porter, not enough. Xander seeing it, maximizing his efforts and swinging out with Dawn, closing the game, says, I don't want to play another turn. I got to end this now. Congratulations, Xander, taking it down with Katakuri. Well done, Xander. Well done. That was an impressive game, impressive match. Very rough. You guys got to understand, Porter is a very tough player to play. He's very, very good at this game. Yeah, I'm solid. I'm sold on Katakuri. All right, well, you should be. It's a very good deck. And it was a big W's to the Katakuri, Puppy. Yeah, I agree with you. That was a fantastic performance. And I think, honestly, while Xander wasn't on his last turn, that was a good turn to try to go for it. I think, honestly, like, given he was running low on resources, didn't have a lot to drop, he had 2 puttings with nothing to really cheat out. With those 2 puttings in hand, there wasn't going to get a whole lot of value trying to rebuild the field here. Just saw those options were like, listen, I think the math is right. I've got him low in the Dawn. This is going to be the time where I can maximize the use of my Big Mom and maximize the use of my Dawn for the leader swing, and it just got the numbers perfect. And Pano saying, thank you for all the tips, Xander. Absolutely. He is one of our best players. You really should pay attention to it. I loved watching him when he was playing Nami. Was one of the best Namis I got to cover hands down. And he's just going to keep being a very good player. So if you guys go down to Flame through, watch out for this guy. Lucky for you, I'm the only one that knows what he looks like. So I know to watch out for Xander. All right, we do have 2 packs to give away. We're going to give this stuff away and say thank you to everyone. Close out the stream for the night. Puppy, got to get you added. And then we got to double check. YouTube, we're caught up. And Arcs Gaming, got you. Puppy. Pano, got you. Fusa, yep. Xander got you twice. Bob64. Yep, we're good. All caught up. The stream is ready. Everybody has their last chance. This is your last chance, guys. Get in the wheel. Exclamation point join. We're going to give away 2 packs. Let's find out who's going away with pack number 1. Shuffle at the board. Good healthy wheel tonight. Free pack for number 1 goes to... It's the mole. Let's get some rig to the chat, guys. It's the mole with the win. Let's go. Pano, I actually had a blast with you out in the chat too. Thank you so much for being here. Love getting new players, love getting people out there. Hey, IDK Darian, we got you added here. We'll get you for the last swing here. Again, please join the Discord for me to get in contact with you. We do post a lot of really good content out there. It's not a terribly busy Discord. I like to not spam you guys with a lot of nonsense here, but this is my best way to get a hold of you guys. Not Patreon. And if you want to get the deck list. Refuser, you should be on there twice. IW. How did I miss that? Because this is your YouTube. I did miss it. All right, you caught me this time, Refuser. You got me this time. You're 100% right. Where was that? I could have swore I saw that on there. Oh, I'm always getting rigged, says Refuser. I'm out to get you, Refuser. It's the mole. Congratulations. Let's find out what you won. Yeah, the Discord button. Oh, let me get the Discord. There's a Discord for you, IDK. I need to set that bot up. I need to set that one up. All right, these are fresh from Lifelink. Anything can happen. Not a red back. Not a red back. Anything can happen. All the ratios out the window because this isn't from our community box. Next week, we will be opening up OP17 community box. So get in when you can because that's going to be an awesome giveaway. Massive hits. And I hear there's going to be like 4, sometimes maybe even random 5-hit potentials here. So I'm hoping to give away some massive hits with the next set. Thank you, IDK. All right, first rare is Mr. Dawes Bones. And, oh, Katarina Devon. I think he has enough of these. I think he has enough of these. Double rare pack given away to It's the Mole. It's a free pack. It's a free pack. Resealed packs rigged. Yeah. I did a really good job with the glue job if I resealed these, that's for sure. Got to get the pandas. I know, IDK, the pandas are great. I heard they're 1 per case and they're in the back slot. Like they're not even foil. They're just alt art and they're in like the SR spot. Like where you get things. Hey girl, good to see you. So, but I think there's like 1 per case from what I understand. Those things are gonna be huge. He will ship manga if you know, to you if you win one. Refuser, I will try to fly to you to do like one of those like live cams if I can give away a manga. I mean, I want to get live reactions. I want to get everything. I want a viral video that shows I gave away a manga hit for free for simply just spending time with me. Trust me, I want it to happen. If I could rig it, I would make it happen. Let's get to the wheel. Maybe this is our opportunity. We'll find out. Final pack of the day. Let's go. Ooh, Arcs Gaming. First time chatter, first time winner. Arcs, I hope you had the chance to join the Discord here because I'm gonna have to get a hold of you and get your information to send this out to you. I don't do anything with it. I'm not a proprietary. This is just for me to I have to send it somewhere, guys. Let's go indeed, Arcs. All right, make sure you join the Discord because I'm going to be contacting you after this to make sure I get this information and send this out. I also give away little goodies, by the way. Everyone who's won for the first time, I think, has been pleasantly surprised with, wait a minute, it wasn't just the pack I won? No, it wasn't. I like to give away some little goodies. I'm not going to give a surprise away yet, but I'd like to throw on some little good stuff with it to say thank you for being here. Wise Bodakai, you just missed the giveaway. Hit that follow button, Wise. Hit the follow button because that's your chance to get in these giveaways. I go every time I go live. Every time I give away packs in the IP of the game I'm covering. Right now I'm limited to One Piece, but quick question: does the stream have a fixed stream schedule? Right now, Monday and Wednesdays. So the chat's kind of full here. It is every Monday, Wednesday, 6 o'clock. Every Monday, Wednesday, 6 o'clock. It's going to change when I can work the schedule. I used to have Gundam nights, I used to have Union Arena nights, I used to have Match of the Gathering nights, and I used to do all the open release events all weekend long where I would give away free packs. The partnership with Lifelink has changed. He's moved me outside of the studio I used to be in, so I can no longer be live. There's too much noise. There's non-royalty free music out there. No one likes listening to a bunch of static and random noise and people. So I lost all that content with that switch. I'm working to fill it in with something different. Stay tuned as I try to advance this content. But for now, it's just Monday and Wednesday when I go live. I'll work on getting more. I know that I'm not going to get crap from Twitch if I don't do more days, but I have a real job that pays the bills, and I do this for fun. So please hit the follow button, join me. I'm always giving away good stuff. And when I can eventually get back to those other IPs, because I play so many different games. I've been playing card games for 30 years. Been a Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been to National, I've been to the Pro Tour, I've been to the Nationals representation for Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been playing Pokemon for the longest time. I played WWE Wrestling. That's a card game you guys probably don't even know anything about. Star Wars back before it got reprinted into its new Star Wars. The J word. The J word? Okay, I'll wait for Puppy to respond. Rodor Otama, Don Quixote. Oh, Job. Ah, yes, now I get it. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry, Puppy. The thing we hate. Boa Hancock, the Three Admirals, Thatch, Avio. All right, our first rare was and oh, Monkey D. Luffy. No, I don't want double rare hits. I don't want double rare hits. I want hits. Okay, Wednesday is a good chance, guys. We got 2 double rare packs, so we should be getting a hit. Come on. Yeah, I know, Puppy. It is right. I want double. Can't do anything with double rare picks. I will say the Zihaha not being leader locked is something you guys might want to sleep on. Could be one of those rares that gets up there. Refusa says, KK, I'm in game for muting. Have a good night. Refusa, have a great night. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you all. Stay tuned. Next Wednesday, we got a great event. The last 2 packs before we get into the new set. And guys, I cannot wait to open up some OP17. Stay tuned for that. We got a lot of great content coming your way. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Are any of my regular guys live yet? No. All right. We'll just check to see if there's any raid potential here. Let's see. All right, let's see how Spartan Fish is doing. I don't first time watching this one. Hopefully it doesn't cuss or anything. It's late at night, who knows. Watch your kids. We'll do a raid, say hi. Love the content creators, especially for this card game. Gonna call tonight. I want to say thank you to all of you. It's been a great time. I've been having a lot of fun. Thanks for all the comments. It's always good to interact with you guys. I always have a fun time when I do these. I can't wait to see you. I hope to see you in some future events. Anime Con this weekend. It's gonna be fantastic. Gonna see if I can get some of those goodies. I'm gonna see you at the Flame Troop. Gonna see you at New York Comic Con. Gonna see you at the Bonnet Card Fest. I got so many things that we're gonna go to, and I can't wait to see you. If you do see me, remember, is that Humble Pie? Because I will give you a free pack. And thank you, Wiseword, for the follow. I appreciate you. Thank you, and peace from Canada, Pano. As always, stay humbro. YouTube, it's always weird because I gotta wait for me to point to the camera so I can hit the raid now button. Yeah, to get the timing right. And for YouTube, have a good one.